Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Club Shay Shay on the road. I'm at the UFC Apex right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the guy that's stopping by for conversation, and he's gonna give me some pointers on how to throw punches and to have the right technique just in case something pop off. He's the first male boxer in history to become a two-weight division, undisputed world champion in the four-belt era. He's the first male boxer in history to become a two-time undisputed champion, a three-weight Ring Magazine champion, a four-weight division world champion. He's six-time fighter of the year. He's won 10 world titles across 4 weight classes. He's the undefeated, and he's the reigning WBA Super Welterweight Champion. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Omaha, Bud Crawford.
What's going on?
What? Oh, yes, yeah, you let your guard down. Hey,
man, listen.
I
would have caught it. I would have caught it.
I
would have caught it.
Hold on, Bud, you circling me. Bud, you circling. Bud, you circling, but don't do that, Bud. Bud, don't do that.
I would have caught it.
Look at that. Don't do that, Bud. Don't do that. Don't do that, Bud.
I'm just going.
Hey, you see, the cope.
All right, you got it.
Nah, I ain't falling, Bud. You good? Good to see you, man. How you been?
Man, I've been great.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Well, you're a southpaw, right?
I know whatever I need to be.
Whoa. Hey, hold on. Let me get this orthodox. Come on now.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Look, I'm gonna take your right around. I'm gonna just. So I know you ain't got no left. So I'm gonna just.
How you know that?
Cause you told me.
Oh, I lied.
Look, I'm gonna just take your. I'm gonna just.
Oh,
look at that.
All right. So here, tempo. I gotta protect my temples, right?
Okay. So first and foremost, you too square. You know what I mean? There you go. Now you gotta always know if you right here. Man, I can hit you with every punch in the book.
Okay.
But if you're right here, you know what I mean, it's gonna be harder. And you slimmer.
Okay.
You're a harder target.
Gotcha.
All right. Now you big, man. You gotta relax. You know what I mean? First and foremost, your elbows out, man. You're gonna be getting hit with body shots and stuff.
So I gotta be
on
up here?
your toe a little bit. You know what I mean? Just your back one a little bit, because when you punching, you wanna spring off. You wanna spring. That's gonna give you a little spring and stuff. There you go. Relax. You know what I mean? Then when you jab, you want to spring off of that one, and you just want to step and slide. There you go. Yeah.
But I got to bring.
Gotta bring it back.
You low with it. You late with it.
Yeah.
So okay.
So I might bop. You feel me?
Yeah.
So when you jab, you want to boom. Just keep it tight. Boom. Don't pull it up too much, because now you're straining yourself.
Okay.
Just let it flow. Boom. You ain't even gotta be hard. You just let it flow. Yeah. Chin down a little bit. Yeah. Get that right there. You wanna protect your chin a little bit.
See, Ocho talking about protect your temple. See, Ocho, you done got me knocked out if it was I got a professional here. I know I shouldn't listen to Ocho talking about protect your temple.
You gonna protect that too. You're gonna protect that too.
But you protecting this, but how do I keep from getting body shot, man?
Because listen, you know what I mean? If you got your elbows in, if you throw a body shot, you just drop them. But if your elbows out here, and I can just touch you, you know what I mean? I can just touch you with a little something. But come on, man.
Man, you gotta tell me you're gonna throw the body shot so I can brace, I can see it. I ain't getting the brace for that.
So when you hear, you just drop them. You just drop them. Because you always wanna keep your hands up. You know what I mean? That's like if I throw a jab, you just boom. You wanna stop. You don't wanna do that.
So cause you do that,
I might fake you.
So that's the feint you talking about, go come over the top.
See, there you go.
Damn.
You just catch it. Yeah, there you go. But not pulling out. You pulling.
Okay.
Don't pull.
So let's you throw. I do this and back, right?
So I'm boom.
Okay.
See, I'm gonna step in and crack you. So if you got it here and you just here, and then I feint you, you know, boom, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Getting hit with something that you don't see.
Right.
A lot of punch that damn near always gets them out of there is that uppercut because it's coming from the blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm looking, and then, Tyson was good and notorious of bam, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Or who else? Lennox, nice uppercut. So how do you protect against the uppercut?
Well, there's two things that you got to worry about with the uppercut. You
got to be in close to do it. Now you throw it from distance.
You're right. But
you go get cracked.
This is another case where I say knowing your combinations.
Okay.
And knowing who you fighting and knowing what combinations that they love to throw.
Okay.
Try not to get over this knee.
Which one?
Your front knee.
Okay. I'm too much over it?
When you over that, when you bending down, that's when the knee.
Okay.
Now remember I said not getting out of position.
Right.
If you in position, it's gonna be hard to hit you with an uppercut because you can see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you do get hit, boom, you kind of want to get back. You know what I mean? Or step to the side. So if we here and you sit down a little bit, you know what I mean? And I come here, just open that. Just, boom.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You don't even gotta do
But
too
see,
much.
here's the thing, though. But you gonna counter. See, when I knock this down.
Nah, I can't counter. What I'm gonna counter with?
Okay.
If I touch you with this, you got your hand up. You know what I mean? You can catch this and come over top of me.
Oh, okay.
Can't be teaching you too.
Yeah.
I can't be teaching. I can't be giving them too many jewels, man. Look, yeah. He like, man, give me some more. Give me some more. He like, give me some more.
Yeah.
I can't be giving you too much, Shannon, because now you're gonna try to box and you're gonna do the
No.
Shannon gonna come and call Jake Paul out.
No, hell no. No, I gotta fight somebody that got limited skills like myself. Somebody that's in their 50s that don't know anything about boxing. Okay, you fight from the orthodox or south?
Both.
What do you feel most comfortable with?
Both.
So okay, let's just say you fight from the south, the southpaw stance,
The orthodox,
and I'm gonna fight from
the southpaw, or the orthodox.
This is my orthodox.
Yeah. So you want me to fight for southpaw?
Yeah. So
Okay.
what are you trying to do? Are you trying to stay inside? Or you trying to stay outside? Are you trying to step on my foot?
I ain't trying to step on your foot. It just depends on what I'm trying to do.
Okay. Because a lot of times you get a lot of headbutts with one guy's an orthodox and the other guy's a southpaw, correct?
I can let you take the outside, you know what I mean, and hit you with some shots, and I can step on the outside and hit you with some shots.
Right.
So it just depends on what I'm trying to do at the moment.
Right. I'm trying not to let you hit me with your power shot.
Which one ain't my power shot?
If you say I'm gonna think of your left.
Okay. So I'm gonna hit you with a power shot. That's not with the left.
That's okay. I don't feel it's got that same kind of sting, that same kind of venom.
Why you think that?
Cause I just feel that. Let me see. Actually, this arm a little bigger. Actually, right a little bit. Let me take that back.
They both do what they supposed to do.
Nah, no, but I think that the right might have a little bit more power with it.
They both do what they supposed to do. I'm telling you. If you watch the history, these mugs do what they supposed to do.
Oh yeah, you put them together now.
I put them to sleep with left and
Yes.
right.
But what you can do is you can put punches
Which
together.
one you want?
Let's see. This is a little big. I'm gonna hit me with this one.
Yo, this one.
This.
They be scared of this one, so this one put them to sleep.
Yeah, but see, if your right is bigger than your left.
Nah.
You know, yes it is. Look at it.
Nah, my left is bigger than my right. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, you see how you got hit, did you? That's the delayed reaction. That's the delayed reaction that I'm telling you about.
The snake done bit me, I'm gonna jump back. It's too late now.
I said, what is that? I said, what? Yeah. All right, so when you hooking, you here, you want to go on that toe and bring that one flat.
So this.
So you here right here. Say you on this back toe. Remember I told you be on that back toe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when you hook, you want to change you want to hook from the hips. So when you hook, boom. This toe gonna go up and this one gonna go down. So you here and it's gonna go boom. Okay. So you can do a 45 or you can do straight.
Yeah.
So you want to be a Mike Tyson. So you want to be
because hold on, because I like to think if somebody if I'm fighting in the hell, I would be a heavyweight. Yeah. The guy he ain't no heavyweight your size unless what Joe Frazier was probably. Joe was about your height.
I'm sure.
Joe wasn't that tall. He wasn't like Ali the 6'2", and now we got the super heavyweight 6'4", 6'5", 6'9".
Yeah. So we here. Come from the shoulders. Relax. Always relax. Come straight from the shoulders. Boom. Open it up a little bit. Bam. But get that. There you go. So you want to come. Everything you do, you want to come from the shoulders. Boom. Just turn it. Hips. Use your hips.
I did.
Oh, you got bad hips.
Yeah. They artificial. I got hip replacement. Both my hips.
All right. You need some stretching. You need some stretching. Your hips is like this.
I need a blow right now.
You gotta use your hips. When you coming in there, you hear, boom. And that's where that torque gonna come from. The hips, your legs, all the way up in there. So you square right now, so you like this. So when you hear, just bring it straight up.
Boom. Tight.
Yeah, but use your hip. Turn it. Boom. Yeah.
I'm blowed. Coach, there's about 5 of them motherfuckers in here. He done hit me with everything. He done come with the uppercut, left to right.
Oh, man.
Look, I'm sweating. He ain't even broke a sweat.
No, it's all good, man. It's hot in here.
The hardest thing, like when you see, like watching a fight, and you guy in the corner, you tell him, bro, get out the corner, get out the corner. Mm-hmm. It ain't just as easy as just like walking out the corner, is it? Because I'm in the corner, and I'm watching fights at home, and I see somebody in the corner and he in trouble. I'm like, bro, get out of the corner, get out of the corner. But it's a lot easier said than done, isn't it?
Facts. So getting out the corner could be difficult. Depends on, if you hurt or not, or what type of fighter you fighting in. But for the most part, let's say you southpaw, right?
Right.
Let's say I got you in the corner, bam, 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 bam. You got 3 things you can do.
Right.
You can smother me. No, smother me.
Okay.
You can close the distance.
Right.
So it's like, here, let me get up under you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You got that. You can grab me.
Yes, that's what
You know what I mean? You can grab me. You can just step around and turn, step, and turn.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Step around my feet.
Oh, really? So you literally talking about
Step.
Oh, and get you in the corner.
Yeah, there you go. You can.
But if I'm hurt, I ain't.
But that's what I'm saying. If you hurt, you better grab me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Everybody think, oh man, he a punk if you grab me. I'm gonna grab you.
Right.
Bing. Hold up. let me get my thoughts together.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna get back to the center of the ring, and then you know what I mean. You
start all
over.
You're
gonna have to work for it now, because
you don't let me out of this.
Yeah. So you wanna do one of those
when you're
things.
tired. Another thing, bro, throw punches. He in trouble. It's hard to throw them punches when you're tired, bud.
Man, it is, but that's why you gotta train. If you train hard, then you shouldn't have them type of problems.
Really?
Or, when you is tired, you didn't train so hard that you learn how to deal with being tired and fatigued.
And still be able to throw punches.
And still being able to throw punches.
When you're tired, does it get more difficult as the rounds go? And let's say the pace. Because a lot of it is determined by pace. I mean, if it's a fight, and it's, you guys feeling each other out the first couple of rounds and so forth and so on. Now, as the pace starts to pick up, does it get harder to get someone out once you start the fatigue in the later rounds?
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, we all done got tired before. Mm-hmm. But now, that's when that second wind kick in.
Do you know when someone's getting tired?
Of course.
Can you tell?
We all can. Well, we can.
Right.
We can. Certain things, body languages, and when you tie
breathing
up,
out their mouth.
When you tie up in a clinch, you know what I mean. You can. You be like, oh.
You tired, huh?
Yeah, you
Let
tired.
me put a little bit more pressure on you.
Or they not fighting the same level that they was fighting at earlier, you know, or they just, you can tell that they just trying to pace themselves.
You taking all that information in?
Yeah, of course.
You know. Yeah.
You in a street fight.
Right.
Let's go.
People that, man, he ain't fight fair. Ain't no fair in no street fight.
Ain't nothing fair in the street.
Bottle, a brand, whatever the case may be on a street fight.
I'm gonna hurt you.
See?
I don't wanna hurt you. I don't wanna fight in the street. I'm gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? And
But your hands are deadly weapons, so you can't get in a fight. It's best for you to just like, hey, bro.
I just be like, man, just chill out, man, cause I'm gonna you up.
I'm over here, bro. Hey, I ain't on what you on right now. Just go ahead. On. You got it. Bro.
Yeah, you got it. That's
because the thing
that's
is,
the older me.
Yeah, because here's the thing, bud. People, they look at you, they look at your size.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest mistake that you can make on somebody. First thing I'm looking at his ears. He got cauliflower ears. The other might be UFC to have you slobbing at everybody. Now you're mean.
No, I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, bud, see, you got hands like that. Everybody ain't got hands in the street.
I'm looking at your hands and your body language.
Nah, but I'm not gonna let you get up on me. I'm looking at the mirrors from a distance.
Even if I'm not on you, I'm looking at your hands and your body language. That's the first thing I'm looking at. Because we're in 2025.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What?
Yeah.
What? What you say?
Hey,
Ain't nobody fighting no more.
No.
So you just be like, man, listen, man, you good.
You got
know
it.
What I mean?
Yeah, you just let him have. You got it, bro. It ain't even like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you're right.
You right, bro. You got it.
And I just leave peacefully.
Yeah.
Then when you come outside,
No, if I leave peace, I'm gonna get my car. I'm gone. But that's the thing that I tell people is that like if you getting into it and y'all once the voices start to raise, bud, and it's all that mofos and bees.
and we close, I probably already punched you.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna let somebody close the distance.
I'm not about to argue with you way over there though. That's the thing.
Okay.
You know, I'm not about to. We used to call people like that, they scary.
Right.
Because they want everybody to come in and,
Yeah.
hey man, y'all need to stop, man, y'all need. But if we
you really about to do this?
like, what you talking about? And we here. We not about to, man, what you say, Shannon? Shannon, what's that stuff you said?
Yeah.
Listen.
Hey, bud. Hey, I would take 2 or 3 of them more cake blows.
Listen. All right. We on the streets. We really.
Oh, no. That look. Bud. Bud.
What is it?
Bud. No, bud. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm gonna be
Shannon gonna be tired in a minute.
I'm already tired. What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about a minute?
He gonna be tired in a minute.
I'm already tired.
He gonna be tired in a minute. All right, now Shannon, sit back, breathe, man. Now listen, you did good that round.
Okay.
But you didn't do good that round.
Okay, you're right.
I see what you're trying to do, but you gotta keep your hands up.
Okay.
Go back to the basics.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay.
Keep the jab up.
Okay.
Come on, get out there, champ.
How many more minutes we got, coach?
Hey, get out there. You got another round. Hey.
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Woo. There you go.
All them muscles, I told you you was gonna get tired with all them muscles. I told you. And see, I'm little.
Yeah, see.
And you didn't get me out of there. Now
I got you out in the first round.
Now it's my turn.
Yeah,
You're gonna be rolling around and stuff.
You're gonna drag me to the deep.
Hey, you gonna be rolling around talking about, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I got asthma.
Like Tommy Hearns had Martin lumped up.
Hey, you gonna be talking about you got asthma. You ain't never had asthma.
I do got asthma though.
Do you? Oh, see? I see. See?
I got exercise and do asthma.
You gonna be talking about, I can't breathe. That's how them big dudes
Put
be.
some water on my head, coach.
Hard times, I was broke, remember saying throw 5 on 4. These days, winning, only thing that I know. Failed so many times, now I still getting stand strong. Took so many L's, now the money getting low.
You was bull jabbing and I was like, you throw a punch, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna come back. He was like, man, that slow ass punch, man, I'd hit you like 7, 8 times.
All right.
So when somebody like that dragged, and Floyd is good with that, like somebody throwing, he probably bam.
Yeah.
How do you know what's coming and then how do you counteract that?
Floyd is so good at timing people.
Yes.
And he got speed. So by the time you already threw your hand out, he already then seen it and he already in motion to hit you. So the only thing you can do is pop. It's just brace for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you out of position, Floyd is good at getting fighters out of position.
Right.
So when you out of position, you know what I mean, you just gotta eat it. You know.
Because a lot of people say, well, Floyd ain't got no power. But if he ain't got no power, why people ain't walk him down?
Facts.
He did something to keep y'all up off him.
Facts.
Is power generated through speed or is it generated through sitting down? Okay.
Both. You know, because I can hit you with something fast and you don't see it and you be like, pop, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like whiplash. Or I can hit you with something that you see, but I sat down on it and it's like boom, and you like, man, this motherfucker cracked me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's both, you know what I
Right.
mean? Speed is power though, but the ones that you don't see hurt you the worst.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's that hit. That's what I tell people, like, what's the hardest you've been hit? Well, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I'm going here and I'm like, bam.
Yeah.
Well, if I see you coming,
You can brace for it.
I can brace for it.
You can feel the force and you can know that it was powerful.
Right.
You know, but
You took a lot of the sting out of it
Yeah.
because you braced for it. But that one that you don't see,
yeah.
when you in the ring and you like, because the hardest thing is to stay focused once you're tired.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, and they, Coach Lombardi once said, fatigue make cowards of us all. So all of a sudden now because everybody feels good the first couple of rounds. You're like, yeah, man, I feel good. Hey, You're doing good, son. You're doing good. You on your toes, you bouncing around. Now we get round 6 or 7. And now all of a sudden, the punches start to uptick. So instead of throwing 10, 15, 20 punches, now all of a sudden it's a 30, 40, 50 punch output. Now you got to really stay focused because when you get tired, that jaw drop, now you're in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
So how do you stay because I think the biggest thing is staying relaxed because that takes a lot of energy.
Yeah. It's something that a lot of fighters, struggle with, but being that I'm experienced and I've been doing it for so long, I'm used to it.
Okay.
I'm used to staying calm in the storm. All great fighters is used to it. You got, it comes with experience. I'm gonna just say it comes with experience. Some fighters you see they throwing 100 punches around, and they ain't got no look on their face. It's because they've been doing it for so long.
Right.
Other fighters, you see them breaking down and falling apart when they get tired. That's when the inexperience come into play. When you're tired, you got to go back to the fundamentals.
Right.
Keep your hands up and stick to your guns.
That's the hardest thing because, doing and people like, man, 3 readers say nothing. I was like, I'll tell you what, just hold your hand. I ain't say throw no punches. I want you to hold your hands just like this for 3 minutes.
And just move around the ring.
That's it. Now, do that and just shadow, but I ain't talking about, you got to throw no power and let me know how you feel. Now do that for 12 rounds and see how you feel.
Yeah.
3 minutes doesn't seem like a long time, but when you getting stalked or you're stalking somebody, that's a long period of time. Because the hardest thing that I found out, Bud, that I stopped breathing. I hold my breath. And now here we are a minute and a half of the race. I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted.
Sure.
So I couldn't, the hardest thing for me is that I couldn't relax. Because when I run a route, Bud, I'm holding my breath. I'm not breathing. Catch the ball, run, I start breathing again. You can't do that in boxing.
At all.
You can't do that about.
And you can't say, Coach. Let me take one.
Hey, what should I be doing?
Yeah, you can't go on the sideline and be like, "Whew, let me take two plays."
Yeah.
Let me get a drink.
It's you.
Yeah. But I love it though because, I'm so competitive. It's like I used to get into it with my teammates because of the wrong things that they was doing or they not working as hard as I am. If I want to win so bad that I'm about to beat you up because you like, I don't care, it's just one play. No, one play can cost us the game.
Right.
Or you missing layups. You know what I mean? Like that's on the team. Like, nah, cut it out. It's gonna be on me. Let me put it on my back.
At any point in time in your career, I'm not just saying professionally, your amateur career when you was a tot, did you feel that you went into the ring and you weren't prepared?
Most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, I done lost fights as an amateur for not being prepared, not being in shape, and they just outworked me. I remember, going to the corner out of shape, and I'm like, man, this dude, he couldn't fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
he was just better conditioned.
He just punching, and I'm out there trying to knock him out, winging and stuff, and I'm just like, man, I don't never want to feel that feeling ever again in life because it's like, for one, it's embarrassing to be this top amateur and you losing to people that you know you should be. Yeah. So it's just like, bro, if I'm in shape and I'm trained to the best of my ability, I don't think nobody can beat me. That's just been my motto my whole life since I've been working, like really working in the gym. Because when you little, you come in the gym, you hit the speed bag, you play around with your friends and stuff like that, and y'all go to tournaments and y'all just go to tournaments. But when you start getting to that elite level and the amateurs, like everybody's good. You fighting different styles every day. You fighting, overseas and stuff like that. So it changed my life and my training regimen. So everything was like hard, go. And then you start seeing the outcome. It's like, oh man, if I'm this Terence, man, these boys can't beat me.
Wow.
And then looking at the way Floyd Mayweather trained, that was so inspiring. How, he'll run from the strip club. Like everybody think, just cause he out there partying, he don't drink or smoke.
Right.
He'll run from the strip club. He always working, just working. And I just took that from Floyd. Like I just work nonstop.
Look, let back the roof, you see the smoke come out the ceiling. All my niggas made a killing, what it cost to get $1 million. I'm living life for real, can't be out here moving timid. They love to see you fail, this shit get risky by the minute.
What gave Bud Crawford the confidence that he could be a world champion?
The doubters. The doubters and my belief in myself. I think me believing in myself and the heart that I pose within my chest, that I don't care who you is, if you ain't fought me, can't nobody tell me you can beat me.
Right.
So it just always been that I had a chip on my shoulder in every sport to prove like I belong here or I'm better than these guys that y'all praising. So I just always carry myself like that.
You still have that now. You won 10 belts over 4 different weight divisions. You're a two division undisputed. In the 4-belt era, you're the only male that's done that. You still have doubters? You still feel you have something to prove?
Of course.
Because they don't believe you won't be able to do what you believe you can do in September.
Facts. And that's the joy in it, proving everybody wrong.
Right.
Having the ability to see the look on everybody's face when everybody say, oh man, he's this, he ain't fought nobody, or he's not that good, or he's gonna get knocked out. I've been hearing that my whole career, And then when I succeed, then
it's all quiet.
No, it's not quiet. It's excuse after excuse after excuse. So it's like, I didn't fought everybody that everybody wanted me to fight. But then it's, oh, you haven't fought nobody. Okay, cool. you know. And
I heard that because when you fought Earl, man, that car wreck took everything he had out of him. So if he'd have fought it 3 years before that, ain't no way Earl wiped the floor. So let me ask you this: in September, are you gonna pull this? I shook up the world. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you.
Definitely. That's definitely gonna be, you know what I mean, one of the moments, you know. And I just smile,
right?
Because a lot of the people that personally know me, they know, they like, man, I don't know why they doubting that boy,
right?
You know, and it's cool, but I need that.
Right.
I need the doubters to fuel me. Right. I need the people to say, oh, well, look at his fight against Majimov. You know, what you think he'll do if he go up 2 more weight classes? I need that, you know, because that's gonna make me more focused and turn into a different animal. So I need the people to say, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not strong enough, or this person gonna knock me out, because that makes me get up and, you know, turn into Super Saiyan.
Right. as you move up in weight, some of the time they say, like, well, you move up in weight, you lose some of the power. But do you feel that you'll still be able to maintain that level of quickness moving up 2 weight classes? I mean, that's gonna be 14 pounds, moving up 14 pounds. Are you still gonna be able to possess, because everybody says, well, Canelo has power, that's his natural fighting weight. You're moving up, that's not your natural fighting weight. You have the speed advantage. So are you gonna be able to maintain that speed advantage and still be able to pack a punch?
Of course. You know, I think, you know, if you can punch, you can punch.
Okay.
You know, it may not have the same effect that it did on a smaller guy, on a bigger guy, but if you sharp, you sharp.
Right.
You know, and I don't gotta knock him out. I just gotta beat him.
Right.
A lot of people thinking just because a person punch harder than, you know, another fighter, that they automatically gonna win. No, it's a lot of fighters that lost, you know, and they punch way harder than the fighter that they lost to.
Right.
Canelo's not just a puncher. I don't know why. That's
what people believe, huh?
It's just like this. They don't know boxing. They just looking at him being strong.
The bigger man.
He's a great boxer. You know what I mean?
Right.
People taking away from his boxing skills and just thinking that he's just this puncher when that's not true. So that's why I laugh, because we're not just looking at Canelo as a puncher, we're looking at him as a whole fighter, a complete fighter. You know, he can take a punch, he can deliver a punch, he can counter punch you, he can box you, he can punch on you, you know what I mean? Good body puncher, good, fighter that got good balance, he never getting out of position. So we looking at all that.
Where were you when you decided to say, you know what, my next great adventure? Canelo.
It's crazy. I don't even know. I don't even know where I was at. But it was like, I'm always willing to challenge myself. Like today with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, it's just in me.
That's the first thing he did. He came in, I tackled you.
It's just in me. It's just the competitive nature in me. You know, if I was sitting next to Michael Jordan, I'd be like, man, let's play one-on-one.
Right.
Let me see how many I can score on you. You know, that's just me. So accomplishing so much and failing to have the Manny Pacquiao fights, you know, the Cotto fights and the Shane Mosley that all the other great fighters had when these fighters was on their way out, you know, that made them, you know, the star that they is. Not having those guys to share the ring with,
right.
It's like, oh man, what can you do to leapfrog those fighters? Why not go up 3 weight classes? I wanted to go up 3, just to be honest. I didn't want to fight at 154. I wanted to go.
So you want to go straight from 47 to 68?
Yes, I did. It's documented. I wanted to go from 147 to 168, just because I want to challenge myself.
Well, that's a...
Yeah, and that's the joy of it. That's the joy of it. Everybody's like, man, boy, you crazy. Yeah, you got to be crazy to think of things.
Yeah,
like
because not a whole lot of guys. I mean, Roy went from 168 to 1, and he went to heavyweight. And I think he weighed 193 in that fight. So that was basically, I mean, that's 25 pounds that he went up. You'd be going up 21 pounds. And normally guys like go up incrementally. You know, you fought it. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Sugar Ray and Duran fought at lightweight at 135. I think
No.
They 147?
Yeah.
Because I know Sugar Ray and Hearns fought at 47, but Sugar Ray and Hagler fought at 160. And I'm like, okay, 147, he go to 154, he go to 160. We cool, okay, Bud. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Bud, think about going to super middle?
Yeah. That's the excitement about it, you know? When I look at it, like, I always had this mind frame of the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Okay.
I've been beating up big dudes all my life.
Because they underestimate y'all, Bud.
It's just, even if they didn't, I'm gonna beat you up. You know, I can fight.
Right.
You know, so if you watch, like, all these dudes bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't care, but I'm gonna find a way to win, no matter what.
Okay. You win this fight, then what? Where you go from there, Bud? You can't go back down.
I might go to heavyweight. Nah. I just play.
But who? I mean, once let's just say for the sake of argument, and I'm gonna say, you know, Bud, you win this fight at 168. You can't fight someone else. You can't fight anybody at 147 because everybody will say, why is he fighting? Yeah.
I can't make 147 either. Anyway.
You can't make 147 again?
No, it's over.
What about 54? Junior middle.
Man, we're gonna go to 168.
So you gonna go to 168 and stay there?
I ain't thinking about nothing but 168.
Nothing but that.
168.
Is it over after that?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
What be left?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
You would have scaled the 7 summits.
Yeah.
And finished off with Mount Everest.
We might do a rematch. You never know. Never know.
Look, summertime shy on the boat, me and the guys plotting our next moves, putting smoke in the sky. Louis says cover my eyes.
The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for all the high stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw-dropping plays. DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the play-in games all the way through the finals, now's the time to back your favorite players and teams as they chase glory. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Want to make your playoff experience even more intense? Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40, or more? It's your call. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, lock in your bets, and make this playoff run unforgettable. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Shannon. That's code Shannon for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
How the hell you get the name Bud? How you get Bud out of Terence?
Shit, you asking me. I asked my mom the same question. She said that, you know, when I was a little kid, they used to call me Spud.
Okay.
She was like, don't call him Spud, call him Bud.
Okay. So it stuck.
Ever since I was a baby, they've been calling me Bud.
Does anybody in your family call you Terence or everybody just call you Bud?
Everybody call me Bud. nobody really called me Terence.
Well, we got Laporte up here, but you don't drink, you don't smoke, and you're getting ready for arguably one of your biggest fights. So congratulations on everything, but we're going to get into it right quick. You're from Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska.
That's right.
And you never left. What's special about Omaha to Terence Crawford?
Omaha is home. Omaha is special just like any other city that any other athlete came up out of. Mm-hmm. You hear a lot of athletes and a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm from Philly, I'm from Chicago, I'm from Detroit or Texas, whatever, so forth. I'm from Nebraska, I'm from Omaha. And that's what I put on for, and that's where I give the most hope to the youth at.
Did you ever, when you were growing up, like, man, I can't wait to get out of Omaha? Because you see a lot of people like, you come, man, I can't wait to leave this. I can't wait to leave that. But it seemingly, as you mentioned, this is home, it's a very special place. And I'm not so sure you ever wanted to leave Omaha.
No, I just always said I can't wait to make it from Omaha.
Okay.
Because Omaha is not a hotbed for boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Omaha is a place where when I used to go to national tournaments and we got the Nebraska team, they be like, oh, we got one. We got one.
Got an easy one.
Yeah, we got an easy one today. You know what I mean? So I wanted to change that narrative.
Right.
You know, I did that 10 times for.
Describe Omaha for people that's never been to Omaha, that doesn't live in Omaha. For the people that's going to watch this, going to listen to this, describe Omaha to them.
Well, first and foremost, it's black people in Omaha.
Besides you and your family?
See, that's what I'm saying. So let's get that out the way.
Okay.
A lot of people, you know, when you say you from Omaha, they be like, "Is black people in Omaha?"
Well, Gabrielle Union from Omaha, Malcolm X from Omaha.
Yeah. Malcolm X, great. Warren Buffett, great.
Yeah.
You know, Omaha is a place where, you know, it's not as fast as the bigger cities, but, you know, we have the same things like any other big city. We got crime, we got, you know, nice parts, we got the, you know,
not so nice parts.
Not so nice parts, but, you know, Omaha is a great place that you can raise a family at. It's a nice place to visit, and Omaha is where it's at to me.
You and I was having a conversation off camera. You said you got 7 kids, and you're like, man, tell me this. Where would you want to raise your kids? You're like, LA's too fast, New York's too crowded, X, Y, and Z. You said, Omaha, that's the best place that I can raise my kids.
For sure. When I look at cities and I say, all right, would I want to raise my kid in that city, in that type of environment? I'd be like, no. You know, I don't want to shield them, but at the same time, I want to kind of protect them from the world that's could be a negative vibe. I like Colorado Springs as well.
Okay.
You know, Colorado Springs kind of remind me of Omaha type city, but the best thing about Colorado Springs is you can go to Denver and go to a football game and go to an NBA.
Because ain't nothing but the Olympic Olympic training facility and the Air Force Academy.
Right.
That's it.
And the Army base.
Yeah.
Fort Carson. But then I can go back, you know, and chill.
Right.
You know, see some deers in the morning, see a bear here and there. You know, I like the wildlife.
Right. So describe your neighborhood. What was Bud Crawford's neighborhood like?
Oh, my neighborhood was fun. You had all kinds of kids in the neighborhood.
Was it mainly black? Was it mixture?
It was black. It was black.
Okay.
Mainly blacks running around the neighborhood. We fighting. We been friends the next day. We all playing sports together. We either on different teams and playing football, or we on the same team. We'll all get our pads together and go in the field across the street and be seeing who can run who over, or we playing, you know, Killer Man,
right,
two-hand touch, or you know, just being kids, you know, walking around the corner trying to get on the girls. My neighborhood was fun, but you don't see neighborhoods like that no more.
No. Did you experience racism? I mean, because it's just a natural thing. People think, like you said, you're like, okay, there are black people in Omaha. There are black people in Omaha and in Nebraska, contrary to what you might have heard or what you might perceive. So did you ever experience or come in contact with any racism?
Never. I can't remember one time where I actually can say that I experienced a person like calling me out my name. Right.
Wow.
You know, now bias, yes. You know, being rude, yes. You this and that, never.
Wow.
Never. You know, I can't say that. And then for the most part, North Omaha is primarily black.
You ever met, you mentioned Warren Buffett being from Omaha. Have you ever met Warren Buffett?
Yeah, plenty of times.
He give you some great advice?
Yeah, Warren cool. Warren cool, he chill. You know, we sit there, we have little meetings, little conversations, and he drink his Coca-Cola and eat his popcorn, and he's just like a regular person.
Right.
You know, when people look at Warren, they be like, oh man, this guy is like so smart, and got so much money, but he's just a regular person like us, you know?
How has being from Omaha, being from the neighborhood that you're from, that upbringing, how has that shaped the man we see sitting here today?
I think it made me more humble. I think it made me more reserved in a sense of not trying to get all up into the hype. You know, when you see people from LA, they all want to be Hollywood. They all want to dress a certain way. When you same way with New York, you know, everybody, oh, I gotta have these on, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You know, and other cities, they want to be rappers. You know, oh, I gotta have all the jewelry on, I gotta have all the rings and the bling, and you know, I gotta spend all my money on cars because that's what people like. And I think being from Omaha have kept me grounded to the point where, you know, I'm more business minded than worried about what everybody else thinks.
When you were growing up in Omaha, did you see, because a lot of times, you know, in LA, you saw people with fancy cars and jewelry and nice clothes, same thing in New York and a lot of other cities. Did you see anybody in Omaha that had jewelry, that had nice cars, that dressed a certain type of way that you like, man, I give me some money, I'm gonna do that?
Of course, I think all of us have growing up, but I was taught at an early age, you know, if you can have this car and this car, they both gonna get to the destination at the same time.
Right.
You know, so if you want to spend $500,000 on this car that's gonna depreciate,
right,
and it's not an asset, or do you want to spend $20,000 on this car that's gonna work just as well as this car and cost less to fix it up,
right,
then buy you some assets on the side, and then, you know, plan for your future, or you can live for now.
Raised by a single mom. How much of a challenge was that? Did you notice that, you know, being a single mom, and there were probably financial struggles, I don't know, you know, what was your, you know, what she did for a living, but was it hard? Did you know that, man, my friends might have something, or did you go without meals? Did you clothing? So what was that, your upbringing as far as being a single, you know, being raised by a single parent?
Well, my upbringing was cool because I had a family that's supportive.
Okay.
You know,
extended family,
yeah, for sure. My aunts, my uncles, things like that, my cousins. My mom, you know, was married. You know, my dad was in the military.
Okay.
So he would always send money home every month. But at the same time, you know, sometimes that wouldn't be enough. So I couldn't get the clothes that I want. I couldn't get the shoes that I want. So in doing so, I will always get in fights because people would talk about my clothes. People always talk about my shoes. So I'm like, all right, I didn't have the jokes.
You had the hands on the bun.
I done had a joke. So, you know, when people calling me Darth Vader, and calling me oil spill and stuff like that, and then everybody laughing. So you would have been the person I punched. I'd have been like, oh, so it's funny, huh? I got you.
What? But that's the thing. But I'm just trying to figure out. You gonna get mad at the guy laughing. You get mad at, but why you get mad at the guy laughing? I didn't tell the joke.
Because you would be the one that drags it out. So say me and you my homie.
Right.
You bagging on me.
Yeah.
You got the right because we friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? But who is this dude?
Why you laughing?
And he just now everybody else laughing because they laughing at how he dragging it out. Yo, shut up. Now everybody laughing at you.
So you got into it a lot growing up as a kid, huh?
And I fought a lot.
So you fight in school, you fight outside of school.
Right.
When did your mom say, hey, son, you got to channel this. Let's get you into something that you can channel this anger. What did you think this stemmed from?
My dad not been there. You know, and my mom wasn't the one that got me in boxing.
Really?
Really. So the owner of the gym lived right behind me.
Okay.
So me being in the neighborhood, running around the neighborhood bad, he will always try to get all the little kids to do something positive. So he had boxing down there, he had singing, he had dancing,
Right.
talent shows, take us to go sell raffle tickets, you know, so we can have some money. And he was a big influence person in the community. Still is, still to this day.
Okay.
He stopped me and a couple of friends and asked, did we want to box? I ran home like, hey man, some stranger just pulled up in the van trying to talk to me, you know.
Right.
He knocking on the door, and when he come in, everybody greeting him. I'm like, this the dude I'm telling y'all about. They like, oh, well, your dad and your uncle box for him, yeah.
Right.
You know.
So boxing kind of ran in your family. So your uncle boxed, your dad boxed. Okay. Oh wow.
uncles,
Okay.
yeah.
So that was you so you had no choice but to be a boxer.
For sure, definitely. So my mom asked me, did I want to go? And I told her, yeah. So I go down there, start boxing. I get through out.
Why you got thrown out?
So the coach and me bumped heads because I was this kid like, you're not about to be cussing at me.
Oh, okay.
Yelling at me, telling me, get your little badass over there and do them push-ups. Like, who are you talking to? You ain't my daddy. Like, you ain't about to be cussing at me.
Right.
So we clash and he kicked me out. So I'm like, whatever. I come back to the gym. I'm hitting the speed bag. He like, didn't I tell you, little badass, don't just be hitting them bags without no gloves and this and that and this. And I start arguing with him again. I'm like, man, this ain't your gym, man. This Carl gym. And you know, you're just a coach here.
Right.
So we arguing, we bumping heads. Man, he kicked me out. I was out for like 5 years.
Damn.
Yeah. Cause I didn't care. I just went to other sports.
Right.
You know, and in 2002, they made these little pamphlets with my face on it, like I'm some kind of feed your children. You gotta see it.
Come on, man.
Hey man, it goes CW needs you, and I'm on ashy lips and all, and it's like they try to sell me. So I come back, you know, I'm like, man, I'm not boxing, man. So everybody just all trying to get me to come back because my guy Rosendo, he Mexican, he was boxing at the time, and he was running through all the little kids in the gym. And they like, man, when you was here, you was the baddest little kid in there.
Right.
But man, we got this little Mexican down
Uh-oh.
called the Body Snatcher. He dropping everything. And I'm like, man, I don't care what y'all talking about, man. I'll come in there and whoop him. So we going back and forth, and we got this thing called Family Night that we throw to raise money for the gym. And they like, well, we got family night. Come down there. I'm like, what? I come down there. Like, they like, man, you ain't coming down there. You scared. What I'm scared for? So they basically challenged me to come back to the gym. So I come down there. He getting out the ring. He had already sparred. I was mad. I'm like, man, I come all the way down here and he already getting out the gym. I didn't see him fighting or nothing. They like, well, come back to the gym. So I come back to the gym. I'm like, all right, let's spar. And Mid's like, all right, but you know what you gotta do. I'm like, oh man,
Here we go again.
here we go again. Here we go again. But I'm older now,
Right.
so I'm like, all right. So then I started training, and I've been back ever since.
Did you take back over the gym? Old boy drop you?
Of course, no, he didn't drop nothing. He knocked the wind out of me. He didn't drop that. But we'll always compete.
Right.
And, you know, that definitely took me to the next level.
Your story is very unique because you grew up in a very matriarchal mom, grandma, aunt, sister. What was that like? Because you said you believe a lot of your trouble stemmed from not having your father there, not having that dominant male figure for the time being until the boxing coaches came into your life. So what was it like? So Your mom. I mean, normally sometimes, like you said, you do it. It's something about a father's voice. That sternness, that firmness that that you're like, okay, he mean business. Mom, you play. I'm gonna go on and do what I want to do. I don't please you.
Nah, my mom was tough.
Was she?
Man, I used to get whooped all the time. My mom wasn't having it, but the thing is, it was hard because I didn't have no brothers.
Oh.
I had older cousins, but I didn't have no brothers. So in the household with just you and your two sisters and your mom at work, and your sisters really don't like you, they really ain't messing with you. And it's like, you just sitting there like, man, what I'm gonna do? Like,
right.
Every time I go in there, I'm getting beat up because they don't want me in their room. I can't say nothing to them because they think I'm bothering them when I'm really bored.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I just want somebody to have a conversation.
So it's just like, all right, man, I'm leaving the house.
Right.
So then it got to the point where I started leaving the house. My mom asked me, where you at? And I'm at the fishing pond. I'm fishing.
Right.
I'm getting in trouble. I'm shooting pavilions up with BB guns and things like that, getting in trouble. And, that's when the trouble started transitioning from me just sitting in the house to me being outside.
Right. You say your dad was in the military. How often did you see your dad?
My dad used to come like probably once, twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Cause he'd be out to sea for like 6 months.
Wow, so he was in the Navy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That also shaped you?
I used to flip out.
When you see?
Man, when he leave.
Oh.
So, cause it's crazy, cause my dad, like when he used to come home, he used to be home for like 5 days.
That's it?
Man, you gone for like 6 months.
And home for 5 days. I figured at least 2 weeks.
Cause he lived in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So he lived in Virginia and we lived in Omaha. Mm-hmm. So I used to flip out. It used to be so bad where they used to take me out of school to go send my dad off, cause I flip out.
Right.
And
did you ever want to go with him? Did you ever want to go back to Virginia with him?
Yeah, for sure.
Your mom said no.
Nah, she ain't about to send her kids out there. So we actually did go, me and my sister.
Okay.
My mom was like, all right, forget it. Here, TT and Bud, y'all want to go out there so bad? My other sister, she don't care. She don't care about none of that. So we go out there and they had a hurricane. It was bad.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Tore up the trees and stuff. We didn't have no lights, no water, no nothing for like, man, 2 weeks. But it lasted for like a month.
Wow.
And that 2 weeks, my mom was like, man, send my motherfucking kids back home. So then we moved back home.
Right.
We ain't never go back to Virginia.
Do you think you would have become the Bud that we see here today had your father been in your life? Because it seemed like a lot of times chaos and turmoil shapes us into the people. We don't see it at the time, but a lot of that anger and what you had, you was able to channel it, you was able to focus it and become a multi-world champion.
Yeah.
How different do you think your life would have been had your dad been there every single day?
How I think my life would
how different would your life have been now?
Definitely different. I definitely think I'll still be.
You still be a world champ?
But I think, I'll be more successful in life.
Really?
Yeah. Like my dad was like way different.
Really?
Yeah, like I think I got in more trouble being that he wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Because when I got to a certain age, it was like, Mom, you ain't whooping me no more. You gotta put that belt down. I don't know what you raising that belt for. And being that my dad never whooped me.
Right.
He always talked to me and gave me a solution.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah. Like, hey, T, why you doing that?
Right.
He always wanted to know why.
Right.
My mom, she didn't care. She was just like, oh, so you want to do this?
Right.
Why,
oh, you think you a man, huh?
Why? So it then got to the point where I go to school, you say something I don't like.
Damn, bud.
Because that's what I was taught as a kid.
Right.
If I said something that my mom didn't like, I was getting my ass whooped.
Right.
If I did something that my mom didn't like, I was getting my ass whooped.
Right.
You know what I mean? So every time it was something negative, I was getting my ass whooped.
Right.
So I carried that on in my life when I was with my peers.
Right.
What? Say something. Oh, really? Because that's all I knew.
Right. Did you feel your mom? Did you feel like it was excessive? Did you feel your mom sometimes whip you for no reason? Because you said that sometimes you would just say stuff and it was boom. If you did something, boom. You like, damn, mom, I can't do anything. Did you feel like you couldn't do anything right?
No.
You felt you deserved every ass whoop
No,
you got?
hell no. It was a lot of times that I ain't even do shit. My mom be like, oh, I know your ass was gonna do something. You know what I mean? But the crazy thing about it is, I'm a mama's boy.
Right.
You know, and my mom like used to shield me from everybody. Like, nah, he ain't going nowhere. Like, he can't go.
Right.
But like, why? But like, nah, because everybody was like, I was bad. So
Right.
she would always be like, nah, you gonna stay here. You know, because my mom prayed for me. She used to always say, I always prayed for, because my two sisters is light skinned. I always prayed for a black son. I want the black son. You know, my dad light skinned, and my two sisters light skinned. I'm her black son. So
Right.
she always, like me and my mom was like this.
Like that.
But when my mom and my dad started getting into it, that's when oh, you look like your dad, you just black. You know what I mean? So it's like, my dad give me in trouble. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? But my mom, that's my heart. That's my rock.
When you were growing up, did your mom tell you she loved you? Did she hug?
No, she ain't all that. She ain't all that love and all that stuff. Nah, it was tough love.
Well, you had a roof over your head, you had food, you had clothes. That's love.
Yeah, so yeah, ain't no love. She been through. I asked her, I was like, man, what's up with why you don't ever tell me love? She just said, man, I don't like that word. She like, I've been through a lot in my life, and you know what I mean, love hurts.
Do you remember the first time she told you she's proud of you?
It was when I been grown. It was probably like 2017, 18.
Damn, bud. That's recently.
Hey, no, for real. Like my mom is not affectionate.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So she not about to be, oh, I love you.
Right.
Kiss
Hugging you and stuff like that.
Nah, she ain't. All right. You do something, all right, I see you. Go on about it.
Did that motivate you?
Of course.
Because a lot of times we want that. We want the person, that validation from the person that we respect and love the most. We just want to hear one time, I'm proud of you. Damn, I love you.
Yeah.
You doing good. Is that what you sought from your mom?
Of course. Everything that I did, like when I started doing right in school and not getting kicked out, she like, by time. I'm like, damn. Like
Right.
my sisters, they get put on this pedestal.
Right.
You know what I mean? She made the honor roll, and it's, all right, mom, I got A's and B's. You in the alternative school. I'm like, God damn. You know what I mean? You supposed to have good grades.
Great, right.
So yeah, but for sure, man, like I used to get into it with my mom and be like, one day I'm gonna be champion of the world. Watch.
What, when you told her that, what did she say?
You ain't gonna be she be like, yeah, you're gonna be just like your daddy. But the one thing that I noticed, like when I come home, you know, and I had that belt
Right.
on my shoulders, you know, she'll have that belt and she'll be telling everybody, look what my son won.
Wow.
Look what my son won.
She never told you, but she told everybody else
told
through her
her.
actions how proud she was of you.
Yeah. But I wanted to.
You wanted her to hear. You
I
got,
wanted-
tell me.
Yeah. Don't floss my belt. You know what I mean? Come and praise me.
Right.
You know, so I just looked at it like, you know, my mom loved me like wholeheartedly.
Right.
She just used that reverse psychiatry to prove her wrong.
Right.
Because she knew that's what I needed to be successful.
I read that your mom used to pay the kids in the neighborhood to beat you up.
She tried.
They couldn't do it?
To try. Because, like I said, it was a neighborhood full of kids.
Right.
So we'll all be outside, you know, boxing and putting the gloves on, just like any typical neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom knew that I was one of them tough kids.
Right.
So she'd, hey, if you can whoop them, I'll give you $5. You know what I mean?
Anybody get paid?
Ain't nobody whoop me. You know what I mean? Because she just knew her son was tough.
Right.
Coming from a boxing family, she wanted to challenge me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so she'd be like, hey, come here. I give you $5, you can whoop them. And that made them fight harder.
Yeah.
So
Were the kids bigger than you? Were they older than you, or were they about your age?
both. You know, I had kids that was older than me, bigger than me. You know what I mean? My age. It didn't matter. When you're a kid, you just throw the gloves on and you just go.
Right. So now all of a sudden you make that decision. Okay, you say, you know what? You've given up the other sports, football, basketball, boxing is going to be your thing. Do you remember your first fight? Do you remember getting in the ring the first time, whether it's Golden Gloves or whatever the case may be, the amateur fights? Do you remember getting into that ring the first time, and what was going through your mind?
Nothing. I was so like,
You that locked in?
I had confidence. I won the first tournament that I came back to, and that was the Ringside Nationals.
Wow.
I won that whole tournament, and I had just came back in 2002.
Right. Wow. So now, okay, boxing is it.
Yeah.
What? Because once you got that adrenaline high, you won the whole tournament, it's over. Ain't no turning back now, bud. So now you shift all your focus into boxing. You said, this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a prize fighter. I'm going to be a professional fighter.
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Not yet. I always said I was going to be a world champion, but my mind wasn't there yet.
Okay.
You know, I lost in the Silver Glove Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost to Michael Dallas Jr. And I remember me trying to fight him.
Yeah.
And he just outboxing me. And I'm like, man, stop running. Stop running. Like, I want to fight. And then he fought Rashid Warren the next day, and he lost. And Rashid Warren, like, everybody was around the ring, and they was just going blow for blow. And Rashid hitting him with all these hooks, and I'm like, man, damn, that me up. Like, so right there and there, I'm like, man, I gotta get better. So seeing all the talent in the tournament, I'm like, man, I gotta get better. So I go to the gym and I just train. And Rosendo, you know, he had just beat Danny Garcia.
Okay.
You know, Danny Garcia stormed the ring, and every tournament, Danny be like, where your boy at? Where your boy at? You know, when we got a little older. But I was just like, I gotta get better. So every day I'm competing with him.
Right.
You know, because Danny was a top amateur too. I'm competing with him. He running, I'm running. He doing push-ups, I'm doing push-ups. He doing pull-ups, I'm doing pull-ups. So I'm competing and I'm traveling the world, and I'm like, man, I can make something out of this. Because I'm hanging in there with these top kids from around the world.
Correct.
Boom. I get in the fight. I had to have surgery on my hand.
Hold up. Not in a boxing match, a street fight outside of the ring.
In school.
Okay.
So boom. And that just stopped me. And they was like, man, you can't box. And for some months, you gotta wait till your hand heal. And I'm like, man, no, I can't do it. So at that time, I was already going southpaw.
Right.
But my left wasn't that strong.
Right.
I was just going it because it just came natural to me. So I was just like, work on your left.
So you're not a natural southpaw.
Nah.
You taught yourself.
Right. So I was just like, this is your weakness, you know?
Make it a strength.
So I just started working on it, and then I've been focused ever since.
I want to know, when did you realize, because sitting here talking to you, and we talked in the ring earlier, is that it seemed like you had a temper.
Right.
And the one thing you can't have if you're a professional fighter is a temper, because you can't get outside of yourself. How did you learn how to control that? How do you learn how to focus and says, okay, yeah, I'm upset, but let me channel this aggression. Let me use it for what I know it can be beneficial for me.
Oh man, I don't know. Like, my temper was so bad. I used to have to see like psychiatrists and shrinks and stuff like that.
Damn, bud.
I used to flip out, man. It was worse. I got kicked off the USA team. I having fights in overseas and stuff against other teammates and getting into it with my teammates and stuff like that. It was just, I don't know, I was just a no nonsense type of guy.
Right.
I just didn't care. Like, you know, I honestly think when I had my first son, you know, that changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking at life different because, you know.
You had something to live for.
Yeah, there you go. I had something to live for, and I stopped not caring.
Right.
I started caring a little bit because I looked at my dad and my situation like I got to be there for him because my dad wasn't there for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I sat down and told myself, man, you got to control yourself. My uncle is a pastor.
Mm.
So he just put it in perspective of God got something bigger and better for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got a bright future. So you got 2 ways you can go.
Mm-hmm.
You can go the right way or you can go the left way.
Right.
And he just gave me an option. I was just like, I was sitting there and I was just mad. I was just like, man, fuck. And then I was just like, man, all right. I started going to church a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started fighting, but I wasn't fighting that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really getting down on myself because I'm like, man, I'm not getting no fights. Like, I got to go back in the streets. I got to hustle. I'm like, man, what I'm going to do? You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I told both of them, I said, man, I'm about to quit boxing. I was like, man, boxing ain't paying me.
Ain't put no bill, ain't put no food on, ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, and it's like, God just started making things happen. I went to training camp with Tim Bradley.
Wow.
You know, and that's the start of everything. I sparred Tim Bradley, and he like, man, you ain't no sparring partner. I'm laughing, and he was like, man, he looking at me like,
No, real talk.
you not a you a world champion.
Wow.
It's like, you a world champion. And I'm like, man, I just want to fight.
Right.
He like, so they not giving you no fights. When the last time? I said, man, I only fought like 2 times in 2 years. I'm like, I probably fought 4 times in 2 years.
Wow.
And they was 4-rounders.
Mm.
So I'm really not making no money. I'm fighting for pennies and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I can't be training boxing and, you know.
Not making no money.
Yeah, not making
You got to make sense.
Yeah, so it was just like, I told Bo, man, I'm about to quit. So they called Bo. He sent me down there, talked to Tim. Tim called our manager up, and he like, what y'all gonna do with him? He was like, cause I'll buy him out of his contract right now. He was like, y'all don't know what y'all sitting on. Y'all sitting on this dude, and this dude is cold.
Right.
So Cameron was like, don't nobody wanna fight him, and he can't get no fights, and this and that and this. And so I went down to California. I was supposed to fight on a Golden Boy show. They was gonna sign me. The guy comes to the weigh-ins and say, man, that's Terence Crawford. I know him. I know him from the amateurs. He was ranked #1. I'm not fighting him.
Damn.
Straight like that. I done made weight and everything. I'm at 135, and I'm like, man. He like, I'm not fighting. He left. He left. So I'm stuck with no opponent. They ain't give me no money. So the guy at 140, they had signed this guy.
Right.
So they had all this little money in him. And his opponent didn't even show up. So he's undefeated, but he fight at 140. I'm undefeated. I fight at 135. I go to Gomez and I'm like, hey, let us fight.
I fight it.
You know what I mean? I fight him. And he like, nah. I'm like, whoever win,
Get the money.
get to sign. You sign him.
Okay.
He already signed with you, but if I win, you sign me. And if he lose, you cut him.
Right.
They like, no, we got too much money in him. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Send me home. I don't even want to watch the fight. Send me home. So they send me home. That's how I got with Top Rank. You know, Top Rank gave me the opportunity, and it's been up ever since.
Wow. You know, we were talking in the ring earlier today. Why people don't tussle no more? You know, back in the day, people just know, hey, you took ass whipping. Now ain't nobody trying to take no ass whipping. They gonna let them things off on you.
You know why?
Why?
Social media.
Really?
You know, back in the days, if you wasn't there,
You ain't know you get somebody who lost.
yeah, a person could be like, man, I whooped him. He was bleeding.
Lied his ass off.
Man, he was bleeding, but he whooped you. He got one good hit. But well, now, you know, social media then came to a point where it humiliate a person forever.
Yeah.
You know, they always can bring up that Man,
Baby,
look at this. Remember, you got
You a meme forever.
I mean, you know, and can't nobody just take a L no more. Don't nobody want to take a L.
Right.
So they ain't even worried about even the thought of them fighting on the streets no more.
Right.
Like, man, I'm about to shoot you. You know, you got kids that's like 11 years old carrying guns talking about, man, my ops. I'm like, bro, you supposed to be in school.
Yeah.
You know? And what make it so bad, they gonna knock you off and they gonna go to this little juvenile detention center. They gonna get out and they gonna be like, hey, man, I caught a body when I was 11. And they scot-free. Because they not programmed, their brain is not developed enough to give them life, you know, and they only doing what they see and they hear and what they told to do. So they following behind these young adults that's having these kids at a young age that don't talk to my kids like that.
Right.
Don't say that to my kids. Don't correct my kids because them not your kids.
Yes.
So they let their kids just do whatever they want, you know, because they did whatever they want. Right. And then that's how the society rolls.
Yeah, because when I was growing up, the community, because, you know, hey, it didn't have to be a relative. You acting up, somebody that was older than you could tear your tail up. And then go home and tell your grandma, your mom, and you get another beating. Now, exactly what you said. Don't talk to my child. You're not his dad. That's okay. You don't want me to correct him. There's somebody, there's a place that they'll send him that he'll get corrected.
It's no respect. When you look at today's world, the older people is kind of scared of the younger people.
Yeah.
Because the younger people is trying to make a name for themselves. You know, it's not let me respect my elders.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if you don't get your old ass out of here, dude,
That's exactly
lay you down. You know, and it wasn't like that back in the days.
Right.
It's like, hey, man, chill out, man. All right.
You mentioned that all the things that you went through and that you talked to people about the anger issues and the trauma. What would be some of the advice, Bud, if somebody was going through something very similar to what Bud Crawford grew up in an environment and what he had to deal with, what was some of the advice you would partake on these?
I just tell them, you know, always be positive, and you need the right role models to look up to. You know, and the people that's gonna come down and grab you by the wing and, you know, show you the ropes. You know, I think those people is very important because I had my coaches, I had my uncles and things like that. If I didn't have certain individuals in my life, I don't know how my life would have turned out. So I'll just tell them, you know, stay positive and pick and choose who you hang out with and who you allow your kids to be around, you know.
Is it true that you didn't want to fight in the Olympics?
Never.
Why?
Because that never was my dream. You know, I always wanted to be a world champion.
Right.
You know, I never wanted to be an Olympic gold medalist. You know, I wanted to be.
And a lot of people, it's the other way around. A lot of people like, I want to be a gold medalist, and then they parlay that. You look at Sugar Ray, you look at Ali, and you look at Frazier, you look at Foreman, and you look at a lot of, you know, Mark Breland, the '84 team. I don't know how closely you follow. That was the greatest boxing team ever assembled. Mildred Taylor and Sweet Pea Whitaker and all those guys. So that's odd that you said that.
I'm a leader, not a follower. So I never wanted to be like nobody else.
Right.
I wanted to be a world champion.
Right.
I wanted to go make money. You know, when I look at, you know, the Olympics, you get a couple of 100,000, if that. When you look at, I always envisioned, but I was wrong. If you on TV, you making all this money and all this, and
it ain't true, huh?
It wasn't true, you know. But when I got to a certain level, then I started making the
money.
type of money that I thought I would be making. But I always thought being on TV
got you paid.
Yeah, got you paid. But it wasn't true, because when I was coming up, I was mad because I seen all the people that graduated from the amateurs into the pro ranks was all on TV. Danny Garcia, Danny Jacobs, you know what I mean? All these fighters, you know, getting they shine. And I'm like, man, these people can't, even people that wasn't even close to on my level. I'm like, man, this dude, how you get on TV and this dude ain't even close. Look at this dude. Like, I will be so like frustrated that my career wasn't
Going the way you
going away. Yeah, and I always put in the work. You know, it don't matter what anybody can tell you. I'll be in the streets with the homies and I'll be like, all right, y'all, I gotta go. I'm riding my bike to the gym. Wow. Or I'm getting a ride to the gym. I always made it to the gym, no matter what. I don't care what we was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always made it to the gym. That's why I always said I always put it in the work, but I didn't see the results until God said it's time for you to see the results.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was tough. Like, I never wanted to be an Olympic gold medalist. I want to be a world champion to make money.
Explain this to me. You undefeated as a pro. You had 12 losses in the amateurs. How the hell that happened?
Man, amateurs is amateurs. Anything can happen. You know, I lost my first 2 fights, you know, when I was a little kid. Then, you know, losing in national tournaments and things like that, it happens. Losing, not being in shape, losing fights that, you know what I mean, because you from Omaha, Nebraska, and this guy from a bigger city by 1 point, losing 1 point here, 1 point there. You know, it's politics. Politics plays a big factor in amateur boxing.
Why didn't you become frustrated and give up?
I wanted to, you know, but my coaches, like I said, they kept me motivated. You know, Bo always used to tell me, man, hey, bro, man, just keep grinding. It's gonna get greater later. You know, don't give up. You know, and me having the faith and the belief in them, you know, and trusting the process, I just kept going.
You wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao. I think you were like 27, 28 when you wanted to fight Pac. Why didn't that fight happen?
I don't, man, I hear so many excuses like they didn't want it. But Freddie Roach on the record saying he didn't want Pacquiao to fight for one. And I just think Top Rank wanted to protect Pacquiao because of the money issue. You know, that was their cash cow. And, you know.
But hell, you could have been their cash cow.
Listen, they don't think like that, you know. So they didn't want to mess up the money that they was getting from Pacquiao at the time. So other reasons, I don't know.
What weight were you guys going to fight at?
140.
140.
Yeah, 140. So I fought Derry Jean, and they said, you know, that was the marketing tool. Crawford beat Derry Jean. He's gonna, you know, potentially fight Manny Pacquiao. Derry Jean was one of Pacquiao's sparring partners. I stopped Derry Jean. That's like, I don't know if I want to fight him. So I had to move on.
Do you believe you'd have been, had you fought Pacquiao, done what you think or know you could have done, do you think that would have sped up the process of Bud Crawford being in the position that he's in currently?
Of course. Like I said before, you know, I didn't have the Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, Sugar Shane Mosley, and those guys that was marquee names in the sport of boxing to pass the torch. Nobody passed the torch to Terence Crawford.
He took it.
Right. When you look at my career, I paved my own way. I didn't piggyback off of any fighter. You know, I fought my way up to the top. When you look at, you know, any fighter, from Floyd Mayweather to any of them, when Floyd fought De La Hoya, you know, that was a whole big thing. He wanted to fight De La Hoya, but Top Rank didn't want to give him De La Hoya, really, initially. But when they met up, you know, Floyd was the B-side, and, you know, he beat De La Hoya, and then he started rising to the top.
Why don't you think older, great fighters want to give these young and up-and-comers an opportunity?
I don't think it's that they want to give them, it's just the opportunity, you know. They pay you a lot of money probably for taking a risk, you know, and some older fighters want to test themselves and see if they still got it. And it's a business. Everybody know what we doing it for. Right. We like pit bulls, You know, you see a pit bull, they got their ring, they got their judge, and you know they got the crowd around them. They send them out there to kill each other. That's the same way with us. You know, then this pit bull lose, they kick him out. I can't use you no more.
See,
you know, and the promoters, it's the same way. When you lose, the promoters don't want nothing to deal with you no more.
You know what? That's where I was going. Because it seemed, if you remember, if you go back and look at the 70s, they were heavyweights dominated. They fought.
Yeah.
Ali fought Frazier, and Norton fought this one, and Foreman fought that one, and Shavers, and so forth and so on. And then you had the 80s, and you had the Four Kings, and they fought. Why they don't want to fight? I mean, it's money. You can make money.
It's all about money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when you look at the politics, they all say, oh, well, this promoter got these fighters, this promoter got these fighters. I don't want to share it with you. You don't want to share it with me. So I'm going to in-house all these fighters unless some drastic amount of money can come and then we can both be successful on this fight.
Right.
But I don't want to give you leverage and your fighter taking my fighter's title. Now I don't have no title.
I don't have no leverage now. I don't have nothing.
So if I have 6 welterweight contenders like PBC had, and you got 2, well, yeah, 2, because Manny Pacquiao left Top Rank and went to PBC. You got 2, Jeff Horn and Terence Crawford. I fight Jeff Horn, they freeze me out. They fight each other while I'm just sitting there. Hey, man, I want to fight him. No, you on the wrong side of the street.
Wow.
I want to fight him. No, you on the wrong side of the street. Where the fuck did the wrong side of the street come in to play in the sport of boxing? You know, that's how it goes. But then when, you know, it makes sense, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, then the two parties can come together and make it happen because it's enough money.
Because so much money is involved.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at it like this, and it seemed like Floyd, and I love Floyd, but it seems like everybody's afraid to have that O, to have a 1 or a 2 where the O used to be.
Right.
Because so now, and like you said, like, bro, hey, the promoters don't want you anymore, and maybe people don't think you as good as you once was if you don't have that unblemished mark. But it didn't used to be like that, Terence. Ali lost. Sugar Ray lost. Hagler lost. Hearns lost. These guys lost. When did the O become the end all be all?
I think Mayweather, you know, and how he made it big to the public. Like 47 and tried, 47 have failed, and then it got all the way to 50, and it's like, you know,
break Marciano's record.
Now retired, unblemished. Andre Ward, unblemished. You know, Joe
Calzaghe,
unblemished. You know, and it's like when people look at him, they be like, man, that dude never lost before. You know, people can't say that. You know, a lot of people can't say that. When you look at it, like Ali, Roy Jones Jr., you know, all the greats back in the day, they lost.
Yes.
But that's something that Joe Calzaghe, Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, they can say, I never lost.
Right.
So now when the kids looking up to them, they say, man, I want to be like, damn, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose, because now society has shaped things to where if a fighter lose, they talk so bad about, oh, he's a bum. I knew he was overrated. Oh, y'all hyped him up, and now they got to hear it. But back in the day, they didn't have social media. You know what I mean? So all that wasn't in their face, but now it's in their face. They see it, they hear it, and it's like, you know, who want to go through that?
Right.
So fighters are like, man, they picking and choosing. Man, I don't want to fight him because, you know,
there's a chance.
Unless
the money
is right. You know, so it plays a big factor.
If I take Floyd Mayweather in his absolute prime, and I take Manny Pacquiao in his absolute prime,
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd still beats him.
Floyd beat everybody.
You don't believe there's a guy at 140, 147 in the history of boxing that could have beat Floyd in his prime?
I don't know, but It'd be tough. It'd be tough. Floyd, man, that boy, man, that's the GOAT, man. That boy bad. Man, that boy bad.
What makes it? I mean, because I told people this. I said, look at Floyd. I said, Floyd, it's not that he trains. I mean, it's his life, and from the very beginning, he's like, I want to be the best. And I look at Floyd. Floyd is not a naturally big man. So Floyd, like you, to get down to 147, you got to drop 20 pounds, 25 pounds.
No, he walked around there his way.
He ain't 140. He walked around at 150.
Yeah.
So he losing 3 pounds. Floyd going to camp for like 2 weeks, and he done made his weight.
Yeah.
But what makes Floyd the best, so unique, something that we have not seen before?
His defense and his instincts. I think Floyd had the best defense in boxing history.
Better than Sweet Pea?
Yeah, definitely.
Because Sweet Pea has some defense.
But
Sweet Pea had defense, but he ain't that offense like Floyd.
I look at, I say he got more defense than Sweet Pea because he got hit less.
Yes.
You know, Sweet Pea had more head movement, so Sweet Pea was better at slipping punches, making you miss.
Right.
But Floyd on defense, like catch, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
You know, Floyd hands down. Then making you pay, catching counter, catching, slipping. You know what I mean? Like hitting you with shots that you don't see. Like that's where Floyd mastered. You know, hit and not get hit.
And you look at the people that he beat.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just go back and look at those world champions from the Cottos and the Pacquiao, the Ricky Hattons, the Arturo Gottis. I mean, like 20 plus world champs. I ain't talking about they legit world champs.
Yeah.
And he beat them all.
And he was calling for them all in their prime, you know, so I don't know, man. A lot of people, they give him credit now, but they didn't give him credit when he was active. It's kind of like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
They hated him when he was active. They loved him when he retired and when he got a loss.
Mm-hmm.
They hated Tyson when Tyson was active. But once he got a loss and he retired, then they loved him. You know, everybody want to see you lose because they want you to feel like you more human than them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to be, you know, superior to other fighters, especially fighters that they like.
Right.
You know, so they just like, man, I don't like that guy.
Right.
I see so many people on social media say they don't like me.
Why?
But don't have a reason.
Right.
I don't like Crawford, but I hope him and Canelo have a good fight. Okay. What is there not to like about it?
Are they, maybe you run into the same thing, Floyd. I believe a lot of people started watching Floyd fights to see him lose. Do you think people tune in to watch you lose, to see you lose?
Definitely.
But you don't care as long as they buy that pay-per-view, you good.
Hey, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you say about me. You're not in the position that I'm in to even be on the same level of me. You know? And I don't say that in a cocky way. I say that in an honest way. Like, people at a basketball game, you talking stuff to LeBron James and you can't do half of what LeBron James You talking stuff about, you know, Aaron Rodgers and you can't throw a 30-yard football. You know, we criticize athletes
but we can't do
for
it.
stuff that we can't even do. And it's just like, man, come on now, man. You come up in here, get punched up in the head, or you try to go across the middle while Brett Favre throw a 90-mile football that'll break your fingers, and Lynch about to come and take your head off.
Right.
You know, so you got to brace because you about to get hit, the ball going fast, and you expect me to catch it every single time.
Yeah.
You know, people don't understand the things that we do and the things that we take our body through to entertain y'all.
Right.
You know, but y'all disrespect us like we not human. So then when we lash out on one of y'all think, oh, everybody like, oh, you supposed to be professional, but we human at the end of the day.
Floyd paid you the ultimate compliment. He says, Terence Crawford is the best pound for pound fighter fighting right now. What's your relationship like with Floyd?
Oh, we got a good relationship. I'm cool with Floyd. You know, Floyd just randomly called me, you know, asked me how my family doing, asked me how I'm doing, and don't even check on, I don't even talk about boxing.
Wow.
He just, oh, I didn't want nothing. I was just checking up on you, champ. You know, seeing how you doing and, you know, making sure everybody good and things like that. And all right, I'll talk to you later.
Wow.
You know, things like that. And that mean more to me than calling me, hey man, what's up with boxing? You know?
I was at this fight. I told you this. I was at the fight that you fought Spence. And I'm sure you heard it. Man, Spence not gotten that car accident, bud. Man, you know you fought that man 3 years too late. You'd have caught him before that accident? I don't know, bud. How often have you heard that?
Man, I think I said everything that everybody was gonna say before they even said it. I think they just looked at the interviews and the altercation that me and Spence had,
Right,
and just copied and pasted.
right.
You know, I hear it a lot, you know, but I was already prepared for it. You know, I was prepared, 3-4 years before it even happened. You know, and that's something that I trained my mind to preparing for, because I knew what it was gonna be. I said Spence is a great fighter. I'm a fan of Spence. I've always been a fan of Spence. I watched him in the amateurs. I rooted for him, you know, when he represented the United States. I call him on the phone, check on him. I'm a fan of Spence. The people, the urban community, our own people try to turn us against each other and make it up to a point where nobody likes each other. Why can't you like me and like him?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And if I like Bud, that don't mean I hate Earl.
Right.
If I like Earl, that don't mean I hate Bud.
Right.
But sometimes it seems to be now, if I like something,
I can't like him.
right.
But it's only like that in our community. You know, when you look at the Mexican community, they support each other.
Yeah, bro. They ride hard for them.
When you got two Mexicans fighting each other, man, the Mexican community wins.
They go celebrate whoever.
They gonna win.
They are.
You know, they gonna win. When you see us fight each other, it's not like that. You know, and I just always felt like we our own downfall. You know, blacks, Mexicans rule boxing from the beginning. You know, but we gotta do better with supporting each other, and we gotta do better. Another thing we gotta do better with is supporting the ladies. You know,
The women fighters?
yeah, the women fighters. You know, you got a lot of women fighters that's doing the same thing that we doing, going through the same thing that we go through. That's putting on hell of a show.
Right.
But we don't support them. You know, we don't. You'll see them come to all our fights, supporting us, bigging us up. But ain't everybody going to them girls' fights. But some of them girls' fights be more exciting than our fights. You know, so I just think that we need to just, as a boxing community, we need to just support each other more. And like you said, if a person lose, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
You know, pick back up. You know, back in the days, you may won that day. He may come back and beat you.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you just gotta, you know, give him his just due and, you know, give him the encouragement that it's not over.
Right.
Instead of beating him while you're down.
How long have you had this Canelo fight in your head?
Man. I've been thinking about Canelo for like a year now. Probably a little bit after after Spence. A little bit after Spence. When they start talking about Spence and Canelo, I started thinking like, man, Canelo too big for Spence. Like, he gonna clean Spence. But then I started looking at it. I'm like, Canelo not that big.
Yeah.
You know, he's a smaller fighter that's fighting in a bigger division. So I started just sizing myself up to Canelo.
Right.
In my head. He's 5'7", I'm 5'8". I got a 74-inch reach. He got like a 60-something. You know, he's wider than me, but that's it. So I'm like, it match up. It matches up. Like I can do that fight.
Did you ever think he would accept it? Or you just gonna put enough pressure on him, you gonna keep putting it out there and have people put it out there and say, hey, the only fight that makes sense for Bud is Canelo. The only fight that makes sense for Canelo, if he want to fight somebody and he want a super, super payday, Bud Crawford is it.
For sure. There's no fighter out right now that's bigger than Crawford Canelo. No fight.
I agree. I agree.
You know, so I know a lot of people say, oh, well, Benavidez, everybody want him to fight Benavidez. And that's a great fight, and that's a damn good fight. You know, but given the circumstances of Black versus Mexican and the history, I've always did bigger numbers than anything. You know, besides Manny Pacquiao, Floyd, and Floyd, you know, Conor McGregor. But yeah.
You believe these numbers will be comparable to that? There's a projection that this fight is going to do somewhere between 600 and 750, or $750 million. Floyd right now has the record. He and Pacquiao did 600 million in revenue. You believe this fight, you, Canelo, Netflix, can approach that number or go north of that number?
I don't know, because it's different times that we live in. When you look at today's time, you got so much piracy. You know, it's different. Back in the days, you didn't have that much.
Nah, yeah.
But now, you know, everybody got an app.
It's true.
My kids be talking about, oh yeah, I'm watching the UFC fights. I'm like, I ain't pay for no UFC. I ain't watching it on their phone.
Right.
You know, so it's way different nowadays, and it's hard. It remind me of back in the days when they was burning CDs.
Yeah.
And the artists was like, man, we can't make
no money.
We can't make no money because everybody burning CDs and stuff like that. So I just think, you know, it's going to do tremendous numbers. But to say I know how much, I don't.
Because I'm looking at, say, Canelo's guaranteed 150, you guaranteed 100 million. Damn, Bud. It's too late for me to train? I mean, that's that number. That sounds like a number that you can get down with.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know,
Bud. I mean, I'm trying to figure. Help me out on this, because Marvin Hagler once said it's hard. It gets hard once you got mink slippers and silk pajamas to get up there and train and get hit in the face again.
That's what he said?
Yes. But here's the thing.
I know silks.
No, but look at Floyd. Everything Floyd was making money doing 30, doing $40 million, $50 million a fight, and he still had the same desire as if he had $2. Bud Crawford made money, and he still has the desire to get up and train as if he has $5. How does one stay in that mind? Because it's easy now. Bud, you live in the ivory tower. You just told me you got a new crib built. Although it costs you $63, it's a new crib. Well, I'm saying, you got this new palatial estate and you still stay hungry. How?
Because, like, I don't want to lose. That's the thing. I don't want to lose in nothing. You know, so I'm fighting for my future, my kids' future. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it to win. I'm not gonna half do it. I'm not gonna half step it. I'm not gonna play around with it. I'm gonna try to win. So that's my motivation, my family, to secure them with generational wealth, with the businesses that I've created, the things that I put my money into, to teach them that anything is possible. And then not only that, for their kids can live off of their great-great-grandpa's success. Like you know, when you see a trust fund baby.
The Ford family, the Rockefeller, the Kellogg, the M&M Mars, the Heinz ketchup.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Why can't, you know, where I come from, man, people don't be leaving their kids nothing.
Right.
When they pass, man, people
You leave them in debt because they ain't got nothing to leave. Whatever. I can't leave.
sell dinners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know? So I just always told myself, if something ever was to happen to me, my kids gonna be straight with or without me.
But I don't know, bud. 150 mil. You still gonna want to go in there and train? You still gonna want to go do another fight?
They might come with 250. They might come with 200. I'm going to get it.
So, training. Obviously, you're gonna have to train. You're training for a bigger fighter. So, what's that? Have you thought about? Have you lined up some sparring partners? Because you probably have to fight. You know, spar with bigger guys than what you normally spar with.
No?
You know? Mm-mm. Bud, you try to make this thing seem like routine. It ain't routine, bud.
Man, listen. I don't spar people my size. Everybody I spar is bigger than me.
Ocho said he want to spar.
I know. He told me. He told me. He came down. He said, man, he want to get in the ring with me. I said, man, listen, Ocho.
That's what I keep telling him.
I said, man.
But he doing an MMA fight with Debo, James Harrison.
I don't want to do it to him. Ocho good, man. That's my guy.
Yeah.
He funny than a mug.
He is.
He's funny.
But go ahead. Do one round. Touch him up a couple times.
Y'all be wanting him to get straight.
I would have, because he be every fighter. We had another.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
He wanna
everything. So just,
Andre Ward.
Yeah.
Andre Ward.
Hey, I mean, just like pop. You know, just like ooh. Yeah.
I don't think he want. I think he just want the joy and the bragging rights to say he been in there with us.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he want to get in there and for us to really spar him.
No. Just 1 minute. Just put 1 minute. Just 1 minute on the clock.
Okay.
That's it. No, 30 seconds. Let's get it out of 30. 30.
I'm gonna tell him, be like, man, hey, Shannon.
Do 30. Hey, just touch him a couple times. No, don't go all out on it, but just like
line him up, man.
Yeah, hey, Ocho, bug go ta. And I will be right there with my cat.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. How different, you win this fight, how different is the perception of Bud Crawford gonna be? Does this put you in that pantheon?
I honestly think I've been there.
Okay.
But, you know, everybody else got their own opinion. Mm-hmm. But after this, I think people will start respecting me more, but at the same time, they have some type of excuse.
Right.
You know, it's always going to be some type of excuse on why Terence Crawford was successful and why he won the fights that nobody thought he was going to win, or he did exactly what he said he was going to do. But it was a reason why it happened at the time, or something wasn't right. So I just take it in stride.
There hadn't been very many 5 division champs. You beat Canelo at the weight and beat him at that weight. I mean, people are gonna have to say Bud Crawford with Floyd Mayweather, with Sugar Ray Robinson, with Manny Pacquiao. They're gonna have to. They don't have a choice.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not just saying it. Terence Crawford could have competed with all those guys. All of them. I don't see not one fighter that I couldn't compete with. From Roberto Duran to Sugar Ray Robinson. I can't say Sugar Ray Robinson because I didn't see him.
Right.
But the Manny Pacquiao's.
The Hagler, the Hearns.
Hagler was
160. Yeah, he fought it. Yeah.
But I'm talking about those guys around my weight.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah.
Even Hagler.
Yeah.
You know, I could have competed with. But the guys that was around my weight.
Sugar Shane Mosley and all those, yeah.
I compete with all of them. With all of them. Hands down.
But back then, Bud, guys fought. I mean, now guys are going to retire with 50 fights. I mean, I think, who was that? Duran at one point was like 78-0. These guys had like 100 fights. Sugar Ray Robinson was like what, 200 wins and 5 losses or something.
Well, boxing has evolved.
Because they're fighting damn near every other week.
So when you look at boxing like we was talking about football.
Yes.
Or you can't blindside, crack back and all that stuff.
Yes.
Boxing have evolved to the point where we learned that we don't have to fight so much.
Right. Because there's more money involved, and so you don't have to fight for 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 when guys can make X amount of dollars and fight 1 to 2 times a year.
Yes.
No.
And then when you look at those fighters that got all those fights, look at their health.
Yeah.
Why would I want to make so much money if I can't enjoy it?
Can't enjoy it. But don't know I've made the money.
Facts. And to have somebody steal the money because I don't know what's going on.
Right.
So health is wealth.
When did you watch the Charlo fight and Canelo?
Yeah.
Did you watch that fight? Did you take anything?
I was there.
Did you take anything from it?
I felt Charlo just came for a payday.
Really?
But I really can't say, but he could have did more. He did a lot of good things in there that I felt as if he would have know or had the confidence. He would have did way better than what he did.
Do you feel that Charlo could have done more?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you talking about Charlo? Yeah.
Yeah,
You think he was afraid of Canelo's power?
I do. I think he respected too much. You know, I do. But still, all in all, he did what he had to do to make it to the 12th round.
Are you gonna respect? You gonna respect it?
I don't know. We're gonna see. I never got hit by him, so I can't say
Right.
if I am or I am. But I'm definitely gonna respect.
But you gonna make him respect you?
Of course.
Cause you got to, because he'll walk you down if you don't.
Well, that's his thing.
He try to walk people down now.
He gonna do what he gonna do, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Ooh, I'm gonna be there. I gotta see this. I gotta see this one.
Yeah.
Where are you on the criticism? Man, you've never been punched by anybody like Canelo. You haven't fought a contender. I mean, bro, you just getting, I mean, why do you get to fight Canelo, this big payday, when you haven't fought anybody leading up to Canelo? And you see what he did to Billy Joe, man, once he hit you, you hear it all, bud. You've heard everything that somebody, I don't know if you've heard it personally, but you got people around you have heard what the criticism is about you taking this fight with Canelo.
That's the joy of it. Nobody knows. You know, that's the excitement.
Mm-hmm.
He's fought all these guys. He's did all these things to these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Terence Crawford is great at a lower weight class, but we don't know if Terence Crawford can take the punches in the arms or take the overhand right or the uppercut or the right hand. We don't know. But that's why we fight.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of what ifs, you know, that a lot of fans is asking, or in their mind, what I can't do.
Right.
You know.
And the last time he fought somebody that had speed was Floyd. He's never seen anybody with speed like Bud Crawford.
But, you know, that's why we're gonna fight. And then all the answers is gonna be answered on fight night.
You gonna give him a rematch?
Ain't no rematch in the clause. But who knows?
So you winner take all, hey.
Winner take all. I'm taking it all.
I read that you don't eat beef.
I don't eat beef or pork.
You just chicken, fish, turkey. You Muslim?
No, not at all.
I bet you from Omaha, Nebraska, all them cows out there.
I'm all steaks, huh?
Huh?
I'm all steaks.
Yeah, I'm like.
No, I don't eat beef or pork. I stopped eating beef because it takes too long to process.
Really?
To break down.
Yeah.
Body.
Jordan with a shaking head said, mm-hmm. That's all right. I ain't got nothing to do in the meantime, so it'll break down just fine. A day or two, I'm good. Yeah. I ain't fighting. Hold on. I read you deadlifted 400 pounds.
Probably like 455 or something like that.
Man, your little ass do 455?
I'm probably like 500. Looking at you. You see, I almost slammed you.
But I told you, bud. I ain't want to mess with that $150 million payday, man. Man, hey, everybody, man, how you do, boy? Like, come on, man. Because, hey, I think I'm going to get me a little cut and get a little 5% cut. So, well, have you always lifted weights?
No, I don't.
So you just lifted now to try to pick on a little bit?
I just lifted just because I just wanted to lift it.
Okay.
I just looked at it and said, nah, I do that. And I was like, do it. I was here, look.
How many fights does Bud Crawford have left?
As many as I want.
But you don't want to stay too long, do you, Bud? You want to enjoy it.
There you go. You just answered it.
Hello, Javante Davis say you need the money.
Shit.
What's going on with you and Javante?
If I'm a boxer, he a boxer, you a boxer, we all need the money.
I ain't doing it for free.
Thank you.
What if Javante said, hey, I'll come up to 154. I come up to 154 while you talking.
Oh man.
You go to you'll fight Javante at 154?
I wish him the best. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why did they come? Is it because they feel they need to come for the guy that seems like he's on the top right now? And right now, you're the guy on the top, so everybody's taking Ryan Garcia say Canelo gonna beat Bud.
They train together. He supposed to say that. And he's Mexican. He supposed to ride with his peoples.
Let me ask you this. You can help me out on this. This last fight, Roach and Javante. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Never.
I mean, you can't take a knee. That's a knockdown. Because I saw Floyd break his hand hitting the guy and took a knee, and they gave Floyd an 8 count. So I'm trying to figure out how Javante avoided that. And then I'm trying to figure out how he got his guy come up to the top of the ring and wipe grease out his eyes. They do that now, Bud?
I guess that's part of the new, boxing era.
When you saw that, tell me when you saw this, you saw him take a knee, and then you see he go to the apron and this guy come up to the top of the ring. Well, you're like, hold on, what's going on?
I'm just as confused as you. I said, huh? I was just like, oh, that's crazy. And Steve Willis a great referee.
He is.
And he started counting, then stopped
it.
Like they said, hey, you better stop counting. Oh.
Wow.
Hey, don't do that again.
You being a boxing aficionado, you think Javante won that fight?
No. I don't think he won without the knockdown. I thought it was a close fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have gave the edge to Roach. He fought a great fight. Javante fought a great fight as well, but I just think he was overconfident.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he took Roach serious.
Right. Because I guess they fought earlier. They fought the amateurs, one from DC, the other from Maryland, so they're very familiar with each other.
Well, but pros is different than amateurs. Yeah. And Tank stopping a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Probably felt like, man, we fought when we were some little kids.
Right.
Man, I'm about to knock you out.
Right. What about Javante and Tank? Should they fight?
Javante and Shakur?
And Shakur, yeah.
Yeah, they should fight.
Why they ain't fighting?
I don't know. I think all of them should fight.
I mean, you got Lopez, Teofimo, you got Lomachenko, you got Shakur, you got Tank, you got Garcia. You got 5 guys. That's a nice little.
Devin Haney.
Devin Haney, yeah. You got 6 guys. Don't nobody want to fight nobody?
I don't know. I think they all should, be fighting each other.
Well, so what we got going on?
Politics.
Bro, if Shakur and Haney and Tank, if all of them leave, if they retire with undefeated records, that's some bull jive. That's some straight up, and you know it too, Bud. Ain't no way those guys should have undefeated records. If they're out in their prime and they damn near in the same, no, ain't no way.
Well, Teofimo got a loss already.
Okay, you're right. But Fight Lomo.
He got a loss already.
Fight. I don't care what. Maybe he could put a loss on somebody else. I ain't gonna be the only one with a damn loss. That's how I think. But that's how I think.
Right.
I ain't gonna be the only mofo walking around with a loss.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think they all should fight. You know, they all want to fight each other, and I think, you know, with Turkey Al-Sheikh in the mix now, and I think we'll get those.
They got big money over there. You go fight over there?
I ain't fought over there.
You ain't gonna mess with them?
Yeah.
You would?
What?
I said, would you go over to what is it, Dubai, Saudi?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. They pay big bucks over there.
If the ticket was what it's supposed to be, then yeah. I'm a champion of the world.
Yeah.
Not of the country. If I had to travel the world to fight, then so be it.
Okay, I like that. Ryan Garcia and Tank, they talk about they might fight again, blah, blah, blah. There was a lot made about this rehydration clause. You don't have that. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think you have this in this one. So theoretically, he's supposed to come in at 168. Night of the fight, he might be 180, 185. You cool with that? I had sat down with Oscar, and Oscar said he think the rehydration clause had a lot to do with why Ryan didn't defeat Gervonta. What do you think?
I think two things. I'm gonna say three things. I think Ryan had an injury already previous in training. I think the weight did have an effect on him, because when you see him with Devin, he was totally different.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Fighters. But in Tank defense, I don't think fighters should be able to fight a fighter at 130 and this fighter rehydrate to 140 and you come in at 165.
Right.
You know, I don't think that's right. And I think that's the problem that Canelo had with Benavidez as well. These fighters coming in at like 200 pounds and they weigh in 168.
Yeah. Damn. That's a big. Ryan, he had some things going on, you know, and we had I guess it was the tainted sample. He said he had a trace of a steroid in the system, and Devin Haney, you know, complained and he tried to sue him. And so what's going on? Why? Because I look at Ryan and I think if he focused, he could be really good. He just have a lot of ish going on.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if he were to focus and took it serious? I mean, you have to take it somewhat serious, but if he like totally locked in.
They all came up with each other.
Okay. So they know each other. So
yeah, they all know each other so well. Shakur, Tank, Ryan, you know, Devin, they all know each other, you know.
So is it hard to fight somebody you know?
No, I'm just saying they all know each other. So they know, you know, how to fight each other, how to beat each other and things like that, because they didn't fought each other so many times.
What do you think about the Devin Haney and the Ryan Garcia fight?
I think, you know, steroids, if he was on steroids, he tested positive.
Right.
Something to do with his performance, but at the same time, I can't take away from Ryan Garcia landing the shots that he was landing all day. You know, I just think that when Devin got hit, he didn't recover.
Right.
You know, when he got hit, he just couldn't recover from that.
Ryan said he beat you. Huh? Ryan said he beat you. Actually, he said he beat the ish out of you. I'm just saying, that's what the man said. He said it. I don't know.
Oh man, that's good. That's good for him to think that.
We used to have this conversation, Ray. Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah. Jake
He too big. He too big.
Yeah, Jake big, but he doing his thing, man. I'm gonna let Jake do what Jake.
Got $200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. I'm fighting Jake Paul. Come on, Jake. Hey, Logan. Forgive me. I gotta fight your brother, man.
When you watch the Tyson and the Jake Paul fight, come on, man.
I love Tyson. but Tyson shouldn't have been out there
Right.
biting his gloves and stuff.
Was he biting his glove because that was a tick, or was he biting his glove like, man, I want to hit this joke upside his head so bad, but I can't?
I don't know. I don't want to spread no rumors. But Tyson shouldn't have been in there
Right.
at all. And no way, shape, or form, or fashion should Jake Paul ever be able to say he beat Mike Tyson.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Mike Tyson, old. You know, he old enough.
Damn near 60.
Yeah, old enough to be my dad.
Yeah.
You know, and he shouldn't have been in there.
You box Connor?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? The money was right. Get in there.
What do you think the appeal is? Because we see a lot of these guys, a lot of the MMA guys want to come to the sport of boxing. We saw Francis Ngannou. He did pretty good against Tyson Fury, and then he got in there with Anthony Joshua, and it didn't go so well. We saw Conor McGregor get in there with Floyd. Even though Floyd was past his prime, it seemed like Floyd toyed with him, drug him out to the deep, held his head up underwater until he couldn't get any oxygen. I mean, what's the appeal of a UFC fighter wanting to fight, wanting to box?
It's money.
Money.
It's all about money.
Yeah.
You know, I did an interview with a couple of UFC fighters, Henry Cejudo now, and I was telling them boxers make way more money than UFC fighters.
Right.
You know, and that's mainly what it comes down to.
Right.
You know, money. The UFC fighters see that the crossover fights like Mayweather and Conor McGregor, how well it did.
Conor was compensated.
Yeah. They like, hold up.
And then you see Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
The compensation that Francis Ngannou, he probably made 20 times what he's ever made in a UFC fight.
Definitely.
I'm just being, maybe I'm at hyperbole here, but I think he probably made at least 5 times what he's ever made in a UFC fight.
Yep. So when they see that, then they just, it sparks their interest, But then when they say, oh well, boxers need to go to the cage, then the boxers ain't never asking to go over there and fight.
Because boxers are compensated.
Yeah. So it's like, y'all come over here
Right.
and fight us because y'all want to make more money.
Right.
We not trying to go over there and make less money in the octagon and get kicked, arm broke, and choked out and stuff like
Right.
that. So it's a difference.
Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul said he want to fight Anthony Joshua. Damn, Jake Paul want to fight everybody. I think Anthony Joshua too big.
Jake big.
He ain't. I mean, Joshua like 250.
Yeah, Jake Paul big. They both big.
Who you put your money on then?
Come on, man, stop. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
I would put. Look. I mean, you talking about that is a gold. I think Joshua won the gold medal in the Olympics. Look, the chin suspect. The chin like this, glass.
Nah, man, them dudes big, man.
He big too. He got too much muscle though. He got too much muscle.
And I don't never say nobody chin suspect in the heavyweight division.
You got to be able to take a punch.
He did take a punch. He took a few. You know what I mean? Like, them dudes big, man.
Yeah, I know.
Mac truck, boom.
He was
Let one of
winning
them
too.
hit you.
No, hell no.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, a little guy hitting you with a punch you don't see. Can you imagine a big guy hitting you with a punch you don't see?
But just imagine a big guy hitting you with a punch you can see.
I don't want to see it.
You can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Them big dudes punching.
Oh yeah. Help me with this. Deontay Wilder. He was running through. He was knocking everybody out. And it's always the same, the overhand right. Fury fought the first time, thought he had Fury, and Fury raised up like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Sat up in the ring, got up. It was a draw, but a lot of people thought Fury won.
I thought both of them won.
You thought both of them won? You thought it was a draw? You thought the draw was a fair outcome?
Yeah, because I thought Fury won the decision, hands down. But I thought they should have called the fight off. I thought Wilder knocked him out.
Okay. Now the second fight.
Yeah.
Deontay said it was the suit. He had this new suit way.
I was there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He had that big old suit. It was cool though. It looked good.
Yeah.
But now you know when you come up with something like that, you got to be ready to rock and roll, bud.
I think them fights took a lot out of Deontay Wilder.
They did.
You know, and then on top of that, once Tyson Fury felt his punching power and he stood up to it, he wasn't afraid to get hit with it no more. And I think that just, you know,
Because once a guy don't feel your power, you kind of.
it did something to his mental because he's so used to.
Because then nobody had ever gotten up. When he landed that shot flush, no fighter had ever gotten up.
Right.
And when he sat up in that ring and he got up, what do I do now? If you hit a guy with your best shot, you hit him, bam.
What I'm gonna do? Hit him again. You gonna take these all night. I ain't gonna hit you and be like, oh shit. I'm be like, all right, you gonna have to eat them all night. We ain't gonna stop just there. You know?
Oh, man. So, but then I watched Fury. I thought after watching Fury fight, and I watched him fight Deontay Wilder, and I watched him fight a couple of other guys, I got a little concerned when he fought Joshua, but I didn't think he took Joshua serious. I don't think he thought, I don't think he thought, when he fought Francis Ngannou, I don't think he took him serious. And so I was like, man, can't nobody. And then I watched Usyk. He get in the ring with Alexander Usyk, and Usyk just, I'm like, how, bro? You seem unbeatable for like 3, 4, 5 fights. And now you just.
Styles make fights. So were you used to fighting these big, slower guys with a slower pace, and you get in with a smaller guy with a faster pace, with more movement and things like that, it's kind of harder than fighting those guys that you've been fighting, you know, in the past. And then Usyk, he's tremendously talented.
Yeah.
You know, so he gonna feint you, he gonna move, he gonna slip, he gonna counter you, he gonna tie you up, things like that. So it's difficult.
Right. AB scamming these guys in the dice game. Is that why you don't? You said you don't gamble anymore because you say, man, I feel like I was taking money from my homies, and probably some of the money that I was taking was my money to begin with. So all I'm doing is getting my money back, and they wasn't gonna be able to pay me back. But have you ever heard of a story like this before?
Never.
Because you know people, boy, in the hood, they normally get you to do stuff like that, man.
I wonder if they fabricating the
amount. Okay.
What they say, 1 point?
But no, they say 5 million, 6.5 in fixed dice game.
Nah, they said 1.5.
I'm telling you 6.5.
It ain't no 6.5.
I'm telling you.
They said 1.5. They didn't say 6.5.
Give my phone. Give my phone. We gonna pull this up.
They didn't say 6.5, man. Come on now.
We finna pull this up, bud.
Man, hey, listen, you gotta get it how you live.
Yeah, nah. Hey,
if they allow him to get them in dice for that much money, then they deserve to get their money took. Cause how the hell did you, in a street dice game, allow yourself to get that much money took from you? It's crazy. Man, what the instant? Nah, that's a fake site.
No, it ain't no fake fight.
That's a fake site. Man,
He collected $6.5 million from the scheme, including $1.5 million from current NBA All-Star. $5 million from former players, and $1.5 million from current.
AB hitting them.
Hey, you know the point. That 10-4.
10-4.
That 10-4 bring the dice game up. Because ain't nobody gonna believe you gonna hit the flowers of that little Joe.
Oh, man.
Man, somebody hurt you by that kind of money, man, for real though.
What?
And probably because they are NBA players and they didn't do anything. But if you do somebody like that, that's a hood. Oh, they send for you. You know that, man.
AB crazy, dude.
But hey, man, look here. AB had a nice career.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Man, when AB had some of them fights, when AB started getting cooked, man, AB like, I'm getting cooked.
Oh man. He had his run.
When will Bud know it's time to leave?
When my mom tell me to stop.
If she don't tell you to stop, you gonna keep going?
Nah. I don't know.
How old is your oldest child?
17.
The youngest?
1.
You want the youngest to see what you do?
They all see what I do.
He don't want the 1-year-old ain't seeing nothing yet.
Oh no. He ain't gonna be able to see it. Well, he see it. Yeah, he watch it.
He just don't know what he watching.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be able to understand.
But I bet the line, so 17 is the oldest, so you probably got what, like 3 over the age of 10?
Yeah.
So they know. So for the older ones, they know what you do. They know who
They
dad
all
is.
know what I do.
Okay.
All my kids, even my daughter, she 4.
Mm-hmm.
She know what I do.
So you good. I mean, so now.
Yeah, I'm straight.
So I mean, you want to what? You want to do this till you're 40? You want to like a couple of more fights?
40 is crazy.
Yeah, man.
But I don't know. I'm focused right now on this one. I ain't.
So I'll worry about tomorrow. But right now,
Yeah.
this gets laser focused.
There you go. Right now we in it.
Right. What have you learned about money?
It's paper. It comes and goes. It changes people.
I sure like it better coming and going.
Yeah. But it's the crazy thing is what money do for you but make you comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It don't make you happy.
No.
It don't fix things. It can fix certain things.
What about freedom? It does allow you a certain level of freedom.
Nah, in certain aspects. Because you can have money, you can have a lot of money but still can't get in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a lot of money but still can't sit at certain people's table.
Right.
You know, so money is just a tool that you use to, be somewhat comfortable.
What's the worst investment you made? You buy something, I mean, you say you're not big into cars. You never bought no Rolls, no Ferrari?
Mm-mm.
What the hell, you driving a pickup truck in Omaha?
Yeah. Yeah. I do got a pickup truck. A 2025 GMC Denali. HD.
Okay. Ultimate.
Yeah. 2,500.
You on a farm? You got a farm?
I drag your little car. Hey, you want to talk about my truck? I hook your little ride up.
Well, you know,
that diesel, you gonna be like, hey. I'm Shannon.
I'm gonna go get me a 650 tomorrow
That's cool.
and pull the rear end off your truck.
You ain't gonna put the rear end. We gonna be fighting. No, but I got cars though. I got 2 Monte Carlos. I got a G-Wagon. I got a Demon. I got a Denali.
Oh, you got the Demon, huh?
Yeah.
I got the Black Ghost.
Yeah.
Don't let me catch you on the street.
That's cool. But let's go.
Don't let me catch you. Because I know y'all got a lot of straight highways out there in Omaha.
Yeah, let's go.
Ain't nothing really worry about a pig crossing the street or something like that.
Man, we ain't got no pigs.
You a baby? What you mean you got no pigs?
We don't got no regular pig. When you talking about Texas?
No, I'm talking about Nebraska. Let me ask you this.
Hey man, you ain't gonna keep talking about Nebraska. Where you from? Old country. Oh,
I'm from Georgia.
yeah, old country.
Atlanta.
Georgia.
I ain't from South. I'm from South Georgia. Trust me, it's
country town, Georgia.
It is.
Yeah.
2 stoplights.
What's out there?
Farmland,
Yeah.
hogs. We got wheat, onions.
Yeah, onions. Yeah.
It's farmland. That's what you use, farmland.
Come on, man. Your place can't compare to my place. Come on, man.
Georgia. You really live in Georgia?
I
live in Atlanta.
No. Where you from? Not where you live at.
Well,
you live where you live at. I said where you're from. You ain't gonna keep talking about.
I'm in Omaha. I want to come to Omaha. I'm gonna check it out.
Well, come to Omaha. Come to Omaha.
What? Okay. What's the dish? What is Omaha famous for? What food? What dish are
I
you?
just told you.
What?
Steaks.
Oh, yeah, the Omaha steaks.
Yeah.
What else? The hell am I supposed to do? You don't eat meat, so how you know?
Shit, I used to work there. The people used to buy them bugs up, boy.
Yeah.
All over the world, they talk about Omaha steaks.
Yeah, they do.
I used to eat beef. I ain't never eat beef
Right.
before.
So what's Bud's favorite meal? So if your mom or somebody pasta?
Yeah, give me some lasagna, some pizza. I'm a pasta.
I mean pizza's okay. I ain't no lasagna, no spaghetti.
Yeah, that's me.
You a breakfast person?
I don't really be eating breakfast like that.
Really?
I eat it here and there. I eat it when I'm training though.
Right.
When I'm in training camp, I eat all my meals.
Right. Yeah. Are you ever gonna leave Omaha? Or are you there to stay?
I'm probably there to stay. I'm probably stuck there. So what?
What about the kids? What about the kids say, Dad, you know what, hey,
Peace out.
I'll see you when you come back.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Right.
You know how like certain people, like you might move back to Alabama. You never know.
Right.
You know what I mean? They be gone for 40 years. But they like, man, when I die, I want to be buried home where I
Right.
was born. So I'm gonna come back home, settle down, give me a house, and last 10, 20 years of my 15 years of my life, I'm gonna be home.
You're a big sports fan. What NBA player, NFL player, you believe could box? Because I see Dame hitting the gloves.
Dame got some skills for sure. For boxer, Carl Anthony Towns, he be training. You know what I mean? He got some skills. My boy D Smoke, he definitely got some skills. He be really boxing. You know, football players. Ocho Cinco. Ocho, man, you gotta tell him stop playing with you.
Man, this Joe, he swear he Floyd Mayweather.
Was it LaDainian Thomas?
LaDainian Thomas.
Man, he knocked that dude out. Then he.
Oh no, you talking about the guy from Pittsburgh, the running back.
Oh, Le'Veon.
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell, man.
Yeah.
He knocked that.
He knocked out Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson. he
Yeah.
knocked-
Frank Gore fight.
Yeah, Frank Gore can fight too. I was just having dinner with Frank Gore. But yeah, man, LaDainian Thompson.
Hey, I got somebody I need you to train. Stephen A. Can you help him out? Man, you see them uppercuts Stephen A was throwing?
Yeah.
Man, I saw them things coming from.
Hey, what's up with him with LeBron, man? LeBron. Hey, come on, man. I got you. I got him.
You got to help him out, man.
I
mean, he said he had his rotators.
But he old though, man.
Yeah.
He old, man. He need to ching. Don't even worry about fighting no more, man. You ain't gotta throw a punch.
Man.
Shady bang.
So you gonna train him? Stephen, I got you. Bud gonna come in, gonna train you, gonna get you how to teach you, man, stay over your feet, how to sit down, spin that front toe.
I'm gonna teach him how to, you know what I mean?
Teach him how to run.
No,
Teach him how to run.
he ain't gotta run.
Yeah, I got
he just gotta work his finger out. You know what I mean? Work his finger, keep it steady. You know, keep it steady and straight. He too old for all that.
You a Laker fan?
Yes.
You a Laker fan or you a LeBron
I'm a
fan?
Laker fan. I ain't even want LeBron to be on the Lakers.
What?
Yeah.
But we gonna fall out,
They
man.
can fall out. Why would I want LeBron on the Lakers when we was competing against LeBron?
Y'all hadn't been competing in a long time. Y'all ain't won no championships from 2009 and 2010.
And we won against the who? Get your hand.
Let me ask you a question. You remember? You remember when you beat Miami? Who was on the team when they beat Miami in the bubble?
It don't matter. LeBron was with us.
That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is when LeBron played for Cleveland and all that, we
Yeah.
was competing against.
Yeah, we competing.
That's what I'm saying. So I didn't want LeBron on the Lakers.
Now, you didn't want LeBron and Kobe?
I wanted Kobe.
Man, can you just imagine LeBron and Kobe?
Yeah, but that was imaginary.
But see, now, just think about what the Lakers would be if they didn't have LeBron.
Yeah, we'll have somebody else.
No, well, yeah. You remember what you had when Kobe retired?
We'll have somebody else.
Nothing.
We'll have somebody else.
No, you didn't. Hold on. Is it true Trey Songz tried to fight you?
Nah. Why everybody keep talking about that, man? Trey Songz was just having a moment. He was, you know what I mean,
He gonna put a miss on you? He gonna put a miss on you?
Put the miss.
Huh?
Put the mitts on me. It was crazy. He just was having a moment.
Did he know who you were?
I don't know. That's why I said I couldn't understand.
You really couldn't gauge it because you like,
I'm
bro,
like, is he serious
do I
or-
do this for real?
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm like, is he serious or he just playing? 'Cause I'm waiting for him to be like, I'll just play with you.
But he didn't do that.
Nah,
You go put,
I wasn't gonna punch him.
would you do a bad body blow?
I was gonna choke him.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I was gonna choke him. He would have did one of them crazy swings. I'd have ducked him. Choke.
Dude, I mean, has anybody like, because a lot of times people might, because they look at your size and they might not know who you are.
Right.
And they like, feel some type of way. You ain't never got into it with a celebrity, have you? Somebody like talking trash. You're like, bro, come on. This ain't what you want.
No, that was the only person.
That's really?
Yeah, I had lightweight got into a little altercation with Jeezy, but it wasn't nothing like that.
Right.
But yeah, I want to choke you. I don't even want to punch you. Have you ever been choked before?
No.
So just imagine somebody like got your life in their hands
Yeah.
and they decide whether they want to let you go or not.
Damn.
So just imagine when them people getting choked out in the UFC.
Yeah.
And they like, just imagine if
So
they
if he
don't-
tap you, you ain't gonna let it go?
that's what I'm saying. Just imagine it.
You think about it.
If ain't no ref, right, to be like, hey,
Hey, let him go.
you know what I mean? Like you gonna get up and you gonna think twice, like, that nigga could have killed me.
Kill me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you just choke them and just be like, hey, now, get on now.
Clarissa Shields. I don't think there's really any question that she's the best women's boxer today.
Of all time.
All time. You putting over Layla Ali?
All time. And I love Layla.
Wolf?
All time.
Coal miner's daughter?
All time.
Really?
There's no comparison
Damn.
at all. All time. I love Layla too,
Yeah.
but ain't nobody coming close to Clarissa.
Right.
2-time Olympic gold medal,
Yes.
3-time undisputed.
Yes.
Well, how many weight classes she did? 6 different weight classes. Now I understand it ain't a lot of women boxers.
Right.
But
She's the
still
best of what's out there, or
that's still-
what's ever been out there.
that still don't take away the accolades
Right.
that she posed. So
Right.
It's no comparison.
Your name got dropped in a diss song. Kendrick Lamar name dropped you in a diss song. You like, so when people have you, so what is it like to like hear your name? Because I want to hear my name called in a song.
Bro.
I don't care what the song is. I just want to hear my name called in the song. that's it forever. Because you know ain't nobody,
Yeah.
your name in that song forever. You know that, right?
Yeah, for sure. My name been in plenty of songs, but when I heard it, I was just like, oh, that's crazy.
Right.
That was it. Like everybody was hitting me up like, man, Kendrick put you in this song. I was just like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And I just left it at that. I didn't get like, oh,
You ain't all get all excited like,
Nah.
I'm getting residuals from this.
no, I ain't getting fun.
You was on the set of Creed 3 with Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Major. What's it like being on the set? Because were they fishing you like?
No, it was dope. It was dope, to see Michael B. Jordan in his
His
form,
element, yeah.
in his element, and see him navigating everything. They shooting, and then he stopping, and he grabbing the camera, and he like, all right, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. I was just like, I'm looking back, like, man, this dude talented, man.
Yeah.
For you to be in person, acting,
Right.
then directing, then changing stuff. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no, we're gonna do it this way.
Right.
I'm like, man, that's cold.
What's it like to knock someone out?
You don't even feel it.
You don't?
Nah. Sometimes you don't even feel it. Like you knock somebody out, you be like, man, I ain't even hit him that hard. Because the ones that you try to hit him with,
Don't get him out.
yeah, you be missing them or it don't get them out. But the ones that you least expected, it'd be like, whoa. It kind of surprised you.
Right.
But sometimes when you hit them, you know what I mean, and you can feel it, you be like, I know I got him. Bah. So it'd be cool.
So you know when you get that. What's the hardest hit you've been hit? Punch you've received?
Probably Gamboa.
Bells ring, just like buzzing, like
Yeah, he buzzed me. I walked right into it. When you watch that fight, I would just put my hands down. Was like, I had just hit him with an uppercut.
and thought you had him, huh?
No, I just looked at him like, and he just cracked me. Pop. That motherfucker said, boom. I said, fuck. Let me grab this motherfucker. Let me grab his ass.
Is today's boxers as tough as the boxers?
No.
Damn, you ain't let me finish, bud.
It ain't. Boxers back in the days was way tougher than the boxers of today. Could you imagine fighting with 6-ounce horsehair gloves for 15 rounds? You get knocked down, the person standing over you, so when you get up, he can punch you again.
Wow. Or they used to fight until somebody got knocked out. It used to be unlimited rounds.
So it's just like, man, it's crazy. Man, them people was crazy.
Yeah.
But I think our skills have evolved more
Yeah.
than theirs.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so
It's a trade-off.
yeah.
Sex before a fight. Where are you on sex before a fight? Yeah, nay.
Man, I'm hitting something.
But what about all the fighters say, nah, you don't partake in any of that?
That's a lie. I've been doing that my whole career. I think it's my remedy.
Remedy for what?
Before I fight.
It relax you?
It relaxes me.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Like,
Not the night before the fight, but
No.
the week before.
No, like
Whole doing training camp?
like Friday, Thursday. Like Thursday, before the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I swear to God, like everybody always asks me, you know, because that been the thing. People always want to know if I did. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
it relaxed me.
But
Like, I don't want to go in the ring all like uptight.
Right.
I want to go in there smooth.
Right.
Water, like being able to see everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it ain't for everybody.
Because you hear all that, nah, I don't do that. But were you nervous? Because you had heard, I'm sure everybody told you, man, you can't have no sex before the fight, man. No sex before the fight. The whole time, the whole 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, however long it is, man, you can't do that. And you did it, and then you won. Like, okay.
Nah, I just look at it like when you training, when you playing football, right? They tell you not to have sex.
They say get off your feet.
Okay.
But they ain't say nothing about her on her feet.
My point. My point. Thank you. So when I tell people this, when you not training for a fight,
Right.
and then you go work out.
Right.
You don't think about it. The only reason why you tired is because you trying to be a porn star.
Right.
If you let her do all the work,
Right.
you good. You saving your legs.
Saving your legs,
You ain't
everything.
hip thrusting.
Right.
You ain't squatting.
Right.
You ain't doing none of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just getting your load off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then you good.
But if you want to go out there and you performing and stuff like that, that's a workout. Of course you're gonna be tired.
Right.
So that's what my take on it.
Right. Kids, you got 7.
Right.
All your kids are by the same woman.
6.
6 of them.
My last one not.
You want more kids? Or you done?
I don't know.
Damn, Nick Cannon.
No, the Cannon got too many baby mamas. You know what I mean? Nah.
Would you let your boys, you gonna let even the girls, you let them box? You let them play football? No boxing?
No boxing, no football.
Come on, boy. Damn, you did it.
That's why I did it, so they don't have to do it.
But what if they was his dad?
No.
You didn't let me finish.
No.
He's like,
Sit down, no.
he's 6'3", 200.
He ain't gonna be 6'3", because I'm not 6 foot and his mama not 6 foot. So he ain't gonna be 6 nothing. He lucky if he gonna be 5'8". You know what I mean? They
You guys have been together since the beginning.
right.
I mean, and but the thing is, like, I think everybody wants that fairy tale. When I didn't have anything, I had you. Now that I have everything, I still have you. Doesn't happen often, but I think most guys long for that. How did you know, or did you know, highs, lows, in between, no matter what, she a rider.
Shit, put her to the test.
How you?
No, I'm saying you both put to the test.
Right.
It's not just her.
Right.
You put to the test to deal with the stuff that she bring
to the table.
You know what I mean? And she so forth. So, you know, it's a two-way street when it comes to that, because you're gonna put up with a lot just like she gonna put up with a lot, and y'all gotta see if things work out.
Right. What is having her in your life? What has that meant to you?
Oh, it meant a lot, you know, because she supportive with my kids and things like that. She handled my kids, and it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy taking care of 6 kids by yourself. So I love her dearly for that. So when I'm out of training camps and, you know, like out in Vegas right now, she handling the house and holding the fort down.
Right.
So it's definitely appreciated.
Right.
You know, for me to have a person like that in my corner.
But you said something interesting. You said the last one is not by her.
Right. Last one not by her.
Uh-oh. And you mean to tell me how you sit here with your eye not closed?
Things happen. I mean, like, you know, different circumstances.
How did you walk us through it? How you go home? Hey, babe. How you doing, babe? How you doing today? I'm good, bud. What's going on? I brought you something. Hey, bud, what's going on?
Shit.
Hey, so how you doing? Sit down. Bud, what you got to tell me, bud?
Nigga got one on the way.
Just like that, bud?
Shit, you can't lie. How you gonna lie? You better tell her now, or it's gonna be worse when the baby comes.
Right.
Shit, I'm just a man.
What'd she say?
What she say?
Yeah. Did you yell, scream, dot your eye?
Man.
You had hey, you know what, bud? You ain't got you ain't got no $300,000 car. She got one.
No. She driving Mercedes.
Maybach?
GLE.
No, she gotta get a Maybach.
Oh, you tripping.
Now, you tripping. Maybach.
No.
Like,
You gonna Maybach your ass to that GLE. Fuck. Nah. Yeah. It's nice. That mug nice. It drive by itself and all.
damn.
How many kids you got?
3.
How many baby mamas?
3.
3 different baby mamas?
Yeah.
So the first one didn't dot your eye? The second one didn't dot your other eye?
Whoa.
Nah.
Bud, I wasn't with them like that, bud.
Nah. I don't care.
What you mean?
You was with them to have a baby by.
But I'm saying
They thought you was with them.
No, I was with them.
They thought you was with them.
It wasn't like your situation. But I wish I'd had a situation. That's the only thing I regret. That's the only regret I have. I wish I'd had all 3 with the same one.
Yeah.
No matter whoever I was gonna be with, I wish I'd have been able to do that.
See, I'm cool. I'm good.
You want more kids too. You ain't done. I bet you have 10. I bet if I come back, 4 years from now, I bet you have 10.
I wanted 10. I did. I used to always say I'm gonna have 10 kids.
Man, you know kids expensive, bud.
It is. That's why that's why I pushed off. Like, hey, hold up, man.
Yeah.
Especially when they start getting older.
It ain't like when
My dad, I'm 17, can I get a car?
it ain't like when you and I were kids, bud.
It ain't.
You know,
It ain't. But I love it. I love it. My house is never dull.
right.
You know, I love being a father. You know, I love, the whole yelling and arguing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Because you're going to miss it when you get older.
Yeah.
You're going to be sitting around there with your wife. She's going to be grumpy.
It's gonna be a while before you have to worry about that.
I understand that. But you're going to be bored and you're going to be like, dang. Let me go. Baby, can you make some grandkids? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you're going to want them kids to love you and things
Right.
like that. And I just, my grandma, she old, and she broke her ankle one time.
Mm-hmm.
And they put her in a nursing home to rehabilitate her ankle. And to go in there and to see all those old people that don't have no family,
Sad.
or the family members
Don't come as
It's
often.
like,
Yeah.
I never wanted to be like that. Like, I never wanted to be like that. I never wanted to die, you know, not loved or mistreated or my family not being there to take care of me.
Right.
So, you know, I know my kids, but I know they bet not.
That's all I done. Y'all better be here.
They bet not.
I ain't going to no home. I'm going to stay right here.
Thank you.
And y'all come take care of me.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's the joy of having a big family. You know, everybody stick together. My kids ain't got to worry about friends. They got each other, you know, at the end of the day. And when they mom and they dad and their grandma and grandpa pass away, they're going to still have each other from start to finish.
Right.
You know, they're going to have each other. Because they're going to have me from the start, but they ain't going to have me from the finish.
Right.
But they're going to have each other from start to finish.
Best of luck, Bud Crawford.
Appreciate it.
You say you seem like you getting ready. I mean, you real loose right now, but I can tell that the storm is brewing.
Right.
And you getting ready for something special.
I'm chilling. I'm always ready. I'm always ready for something special. You know what I mean? You just got to stay ready so you don't got to get ready.
So let me ask you this. When you, like, you know what, how do you determine, like, do your team determine who and where you're going to fight? Or do you say, like, you know what, I want to fight this guy. He got a belt. I think that'll be a very compelling fight. That's a fight that makes money and it increases my legacy.
Well, it's a team, you know, approach, but for the most part, at the end of the day, it's my decision.
Right.
Because I'm the one that got to go in there and fight and put the gloves on and risk my health and my life. So at the end of the day, it's on me.
Right.
And my team just supportive of what I want to accomplish in the sport of boxing.
You and I were talking earlier, and you said you was a football player, and then you like, man, later for this because you were small. I think you told me you were 4'11" as a freshman.
Yeah.
And so, how do you decide to say, you know what, I'm gonna try boxing?
Well, I was already boxing at the age of 7.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, being that I had got kicked out, you know, I went to other sports.
Right.
So I went to basketball, football, wrestling, baseball, things like that. So. Playing different sports along the way. When I got a little older, I was just like, man, you got to make a decision.
Right.
What sport you gonna play? And I was just like, man, kind of too short to play basketball. Even though I played basketball in high school, I was just like, I'm going back to boxing.
What drew you to the sport of boxing?
I think boxing drew itself to me.
Okay.
You know, I think
You like to fight, huh?
I love to fight. I just think, you know, being that my dad, my uncle, my grandpa, you know, my mom was around boxing her whole life. I think it was just something that was in the blood.
Right.
You know, and that's what chose me. So, you know, I've been boxing ever since.
Who was your favorite fighter growing up? Did you watch Sugar Ray, Hagler, Hearns, Benitez, Roy Jones? I mean, who were some of the guys that you?
Roy Jones always been my favorite fighter of all time.
Really?
Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, hands down.
Wow. So you kind of following kind of what, you know, I think Floyd started off at 130, 35, 40, 47, went to 54. You started out at 35, 40, 47, junior middleweight. Now we're going to talk about that a little later. Jump two weight classes, go all the way to 168 super middleweight. Roy did the unthinkable. Mm-hmm. Started out as junior middleweight, 60, 68, go all the way to 193, take the belt from Ruiz, come back down, do a light heavyweight. When you were thinking like, hold on, in order to be special, it's hard to be special and just stay in one weight division. Did you always envision going up in weight and try to clean out each division?
Not at all. You know, when I look at my life and how I started boxing, I always envisioned myself being a world champion.
Okay.
That was it.
That was it.
I never thought about being fighter of the year, pound for pound #1 fighter.
6 times fighter of the year.
You know what I mean? Like none of that, you know. Well, nominated probably 6 times, you know, but I never thought of that. You know, I just was like, I want to be a world champion.
Right.
That's it. You know, but along the lines of becoming a world champion, I was like, oh man, I want more.
More.
I'm not finished yet. I want more. So every time I grab, you know, a new accolade, I'm like, all right, well, I want more. I want
You find something else to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when I'm looking at it, Bud, you're the first male, 2-time in 2 different weight classes to be undisputed in the 4-belt era.
Yeah.
That you got all, hey, if there's a belt, if there's a Hermes belt, YSL, Tom Ford, you got it.
Facts.
WBA, IBF, Ring Magazine, whatever the belt is, you have in 2 divisions. You're the first male to do that. Mm-hmm. When you sit back, I mean, probably you haven't had an opportunity to really think about it because you're still in it. Do you realize and understand just how special what you've done thus far is?
Yeah, all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I was at my house the other day. Mm-hmm. I just built a new house. It just got done. And I was like, man.
It's in Omaha, costing $57.
I was, hey, man, stop Omaha, man. I ain't gonna tell you. Hey, no, but listen. So I was sitting in the house, and I was just sitting there, and I was just like, man, because sometimes I don't congratulate myself.
Right.
You know, I just, keep it moving.
Right.
And I was like, man, thank you, God. I was just like, man, you did all this with your hands. Mm. Like from this little dusty little black dude from the neighborhood.
Right.
That is your name on the street now.
Right.
You did all that, came this far to this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a blessing. So I was just like, man, pat myself on the back, look at my accomplishments, and you know what I mean, just think to myself like anything is possible.
Because you hear a lot of athletes says, when you say, well, what do you think you've done? He's like, well, once I'm done, I'll get an opportunity to look back. Yeah. And because you're still in the journey.
Facts.
You haven't arrived at the destination where you say, you know what, I'm putting the gloves up, I'm hanging the trunks up, and I'm in. You're still on this journey. And for you to sit here and say, you know what, I did. I mean, I was at the house the other day and I'm looking around and I'm looking at the belts on the wall and I'm looking at all the accolades and I'm like, wow, I did all this. Mm-hmm. When you say, I did all this, what are you thinking?
No, I'm just thinking like,
more to come, more to do?
It's definitely more to come.
Okay.
That's why I said anything is possible.
Right.
Because I was doubted my whole life, coming up. Nobody thought I was gonna be where I am at.
Right.
I didn't think I was gonna be where I'm at.
Right.
Especially living the life that I was living. Mm-hmm. So, to accomplish so much in the sport of boxing, when so many roadblocks was in front of me and try to stop me and block me from accomplishing the things that I accomplished this far, it's like, dog, you overcame so much. You can overcome even more in the future.
Do you sleep well building up to the fight? Like obviously you say, like the last 6 weeks you might come to Vegas, you might go to Colorado Springs or somewhere to go to get altitude training. But let's just say the last 2 weeks of a fight, the last week, the waning out, like let's say last week leading up to the fight, because you probably arrived, if you're fighting in Vegas, how soon do you get to Vegas?
Probably like 2 weeks.
2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Do you sleep good?
Yeah, of course.
Do you still get nervous?
All the time. I think everybody get nervous. I don't know a fighter personally that will keep it real and be like, oh, I don't get nervous.
Right.
Like, cause you never know. Like, I don't care how good you is. I don't care how bad you think you are.
That opponent always has a chance. Huh?
Everybody always got a chance. It can be a punch that you don't see or some stupid, crazy, punch, and it's over with.
You know what? I heard Floyd Mayweather, and I talked to Floyd, and he said that he didn't watch his opponents. He didn't watch film on his opponent. That was his dad's job. That was his Uncle Roger's job. They did that, and they would implement the game plan. Right. Do you watch film on your opponents, or do you leave that up to your training team to tell you, okay, this is what he does, and this is how we're going to combat that?
Well, for the most part, everybody that I fought, I already seen them fight.
Okay.
Because I'm a fan of the sport.
Okay.
So I follow you anyway, but far as like watching you and studying you and sitting down, nah. Like I'll watch some fights of you in camp, but you're not gonna fight me the same way.
Right.
No fighter that I ever fought me the exact same way that they fought
someone else
previous in the.
But when I played, I didn't want to watch a team that we're going to play. So if they're playing on a Monday Night Football, I'm not going to watch them because I didn't want to get a false sense. Mm-hmm. Because if they play really good, I'm like, damn, how are we going to beat this team? If they play bad, I'm like, oh, we got a cakewalk. So anybody that we're going to play, I'm not watching them on television. Now, obviously, I'm gonna watch the film because I got to break them down. I want to know what they're gonna do down in just this area of the field and things like that. But for you to say, like, you know, I've studied them. So you're watching them. Let's just say you're ringside and you're watching them, and you're like, man, if I fought this dude, I would do this. I would take this away. I would do this. I'll walk him into this trap. Is that how you're thinking when you walk in it? Because I'm analyzing the game. As I'm watching a football game, I'm analyzing it. Oh, they're in this formation. They're vulnerable here. Okay, you better be careful because the blitz can come catch you here. I'm analyzing the game. I'm just not thinking about touchdowns or catches or yards. I'm analyzing the game. I'm playing the game within the game. Is that how you do it?
Nah.
You're a
fan. As a fan.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Really? You can do that?
Yeah, I'm watching as a fan. You know, I see openings, but at the same time, it depends on if it's one of my teammates or somebody I know that's fighting the fighter or whatnot. But I'm just watching as a fan. But if I'm about to fight somebody,
right,
and I do watch, I just watch for tendencies.
Okay.
Things that, you know, they do on a consistent basis.
Okay.
You know, he do this, he do this, he do this. He don't like this. You know, they don't like certain things in a fight. So you just break certain little things down.
When you sitting ringside, do you get annoyed when people say, "Hey, what you think, bud? If he win it, he lose it. What would you do?" Because when I'm at a football game, it's hard. Or when I would go to a bar, hey, what do you think? Was that a holding? What should they have called here? What should they have done there? I'm like, bro, I'm trying to. Can you really enjoy the fight when you're at a fight?
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Because for the most part, I'm with people that knows boxing.
Okay, they know the game.
You know,
okay.
so I'm not in an area where it's a whole lot of fans that don't know what they're watching.
Okay.
So I like to be, you know, in a spot where, you know, it's a lot of boxing knowledge, you know, and then for the most part, you know, everybody just watching it. You know, you hear people yelling out things like jab or keep your hands up and so forth, but I'm just watching.
So you don't ever like, man, come on, bro. You should have ran this, man. Get down here.
Like as a competitor,
right?
You know, you think like, man, dude, you was tripping. Like you could have did this, but at the same time, you don't got no dog in the race, so you just watch it as a fan.
Let me ask you this: when it's all said and done, could you be a trainer? Because I think, you know, we see Buddy McGirt did it. I think Virgil Hill became a trainer. There have been a lot of guys that not like you.
Yeah.
Because I think it's harder. I think the greater the player is in a said sport, the harder it is for him to coach because people think it came easy. And maybe it did. You worked hard, but you just had natural gifts that allowed you to see things and do things a lot quicker than someone else that had to work for it. Could you see yourself being a trainer, Bud?
I don't know. You know, I think training is tough.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't give these coaches enough credit. You know, they gone from their family. They probably have 10 fighters. You know, they camp here. You know, they away from their families. You got fighters that don't listen. You got fighters that talk back. You know, you got to have a lot of patience to be a trainer. You know,
or coach. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like,
you ain't got no patience, huh?
I ain't got no patience. But they say that come with age.
Yes.
You know, they say it come with age because, you know, you sitting here and you trying to teach somebody something, but they keep doing the same stuff that you telling them not to do. And it's like, bruh, like.
Because let me ask you a question. Have the coach ever like, Bud, we worked on this in camp. Bud, you can do this. Bud, just circle, you know, outside, step outside. Do you know like, damn, I'm effing this up right now. Can you self-evaluate yourself while you're in the ring?
For sure. You know, I know what I'm doing wrong when I'm doing it, you know, but at times we all need a reminder.
Right.
You know, I might go back to the corner and the coach might tell me, hey, listen, you're doing this wrong. You know, I'm like, I know. Then we have a conversation in the middle of the break. I'm like, all right. And then I come back and be like, all right, I see that you fixed that, but you're doing this now.
Okay.
You know, like, let's tighten that up. Or, you know, he'll be like, all right, good job. I see you working on this. You know, because me and my team, we've been together since I was 7.
Wow.
You know, so.
They know you know them. You feel very comfortable.
If they see me trying something, they know what I'm trying. If they see me how I'm moving or certain body languages, they already know what I'm doing. Like, all right, I see you looking for it, you know what I mean? But try and doing this to bring it out of him so you can land what you want to land. So, you know what I mean? That's how close and tight me and my team is.
You're in the fight, you're fighting. Are you thinking about what you have to do, or are you like, okay, I'm thinking about doing this, his counter to this is this? Are you trying to like pick up tendencies, what he's trying to do, or are you more focused on what you need to do?
All of the above. You know, like my head is racing
Really?
like crazy. You know what I mean? When I'm in the ring, I'm looking at the tendencies. I'm looking at things that you do. I'm looking at things you don't do. I'm looking at when I feint, what you do. When I punch, what you do. You know what I mean? When I counter you, what you do. Like everything that I do in the ring is calculated.
Okay.
You know, so I know, like, I might do something and don't do it until 4 rounds later.
Right.
Like, let me come back to that. You know what I mean? Or I might throw a feint at you and be like, all right, you know what I mean? I see you went for that, but I ain't gonna do it right now, but I'm gonna catch you a little later because we got a lot of time, you know? So you gotta be able to outthink the next fighter. Right. It ain't all about what I'm about to do to this guy. It's, you know, it's how I'm gonna break this guy down. You know, how I'm gonna take away
what he's trying to do.
His strong points and, you know what I mean, make it his weak points. You know, so it's a lot of.
We hear other sports, basketball players, we've heard Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, great players, the zone. Football players, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, running backs, zone. Baseball player, Barry Bonds says, I'm in the zone. I can actually see, I can tell the pitch that the pitcher's gonna throw before he actually throw it. Bud, what is it like when Bud Crawford get in the zone?
Man, everything's just flowing. You know?
Can you like pinpoint like, oh yeah, you about to do, I did this, you about to do that. I'm ready for that. And then everything just like, does it slow down?
I think every fighter at the highest level get into that zone and you just know. Because as a boxer, you know if I throw this punch, what punches can hit me? What punches can counter? You know, so you'll see some fighters, they'll throw a punch and they'll miss, but they'll be bracing for the counter because, you know, they know, you know, this punch can land if I throw this punch can land. You know, so if this punch can land and he counter with this, I can counter with this. Right. Because there's a counter for every counter. So every time you open up to throw a punch, you susceptible to getting punched. You know, but at the same time, if he counter me, I can counter him. So you gotta always be thinking like, you got a split second to think, you know, and that's when the winning starts getting play. You know what I mean?
But help me with this. We see guys in amateurs and they don't win much and they become world champs. And we see guys that maybe lose 1 or 2 fights in the amateurs and be some slaw when it comes to the pros. What is it that big of a difference between the amateurs and the pros?
Definitely for one. You know, when I was in amateurs, we was fighting 2 minute 4 rounds in the nationals. You know, you got point system. Right. You know, everybody wanna da-da-da-da-da. Some people got pro styles, some people got amateur styles. So you'll have somebody come in and throw a whole bunch of punches, hold, and survive for 4 rounds. You know, that's the amateur game. But then you got some fighters that have that style that's just trying to catch up to you. You know, you might jump out on them, but as you see, round 3, round 4, you know, this guy's holding, but he just skated away. Right. You know, he know how to move, you know, within the amateur program. But then when they turn pro, the guy that was more tailor-made for the professional, you know, he be more successful. Then you got little smaller gloves, no headgear, you know, and it's a difference.
But see, rounds, getting ready for a fight, how many rounds you going?
Man, I don't even count my rounds.
Really?
No.
Do you fight, like, let's just say for the sake of argument, so you have a guy come in the first round, do you have another guy come in the second round, another guy come in, but different styles?
Yeah, it depends. We might go 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds. We might go 3 rounds, 3 rounds. We might go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 to get different approach. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's different. It depends on what the coaches want at that day. Sometimes, you know, we might spar sparring partner the whole sparring session. You know.
You always spar in headgear?
Yeah, for sure. Gotta protect yourself.
Right.
You know, you don't want to get cut. You don't want to take too many punches in training.
What size training gloves? 14 ounce, 16
16.
ounce? 16?
Yeah.
What type of gloves you fight in?
10s now. I used to fight in 8s.
8s?
Yeah.
Well, what's brand?
Everlast.
I had some Everlast. Does anybody still fight in Reyes? Because when I was growing up, everybody fought in Reyes.
Here and there, you'll see some fighters here and there, but for the most part,
Everlast, winning, Gant.
Well, not winning, but Grant.
Floyd fought winning.
Because he had hand problems.
Yeah, okay, because they are cushioning.
So you got Rival, you got Everlast, and you got Grant, for the most part.
Okay.
That people fighting in right now.
How did
Canelo fighting his own gloves.
How did you decide what type of glove you with the trial and error? You fight in a lot of different gloves and says, okay, these feel the best.
For me, I only fought in Everlast except my last fight. I think Everlast, me being comfortable with them, and them being the gloves that I started with, I just was always comfortable with them.
Okay.
And then when I put on a different glove, and they just feel different because all of them made different. So,
right.
I was just always comfortable.
What are you looking for in a glove? Because some people like I want to feel my knuckle right to the top. I want you to feel it.
I just want my hand to be comfortable because I got big hands.
Right. Yeah.
So when I put them in the 8 ounces, man, they be like this, man. Like when you go to fight, you want everything to be comfortable.
Yes, you want to be. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I used to get the MXs because they're wider.
Right.
The Power Locks is more thinner, but MX is wider, so I can put
The guy that tapes your hand, he's been taping your hand your whole career?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tape your own hands or you have somebody else tape them?
Me.
You tape your own?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why would you?
He said the guy, he been taping. Yeah, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you the only fighter that does that?
No, you got Manny Pacquiao that taped his own hands. Steven Nelson, he taped his own. Fighters do it.
Right.
I always did it because in the amateurs, I had a time where I had let one of my coaches tape my hands and it fell asleep. And ever since then, I was like, man, I'm not doing that no more. Going in there like hair all asleep and stuff.
Right.
So I've been doing it ever since I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Appreciate the technique, but hey.
For sure.
I should have been a heavyweight. But see, the thing is, bud, what you've been able to do is because you did this for an extreme, like you said, you started boxing at 7.
Yeah.
So you got 30 plus years of experience. It's just like somebody plays football, somebody plays basketball, somebody plays baseball. You're not finna start and say, you know what, I think I want to be a professional baseball player. I'm gonna pick this up in my 20s. You ain't gonna never hit the curve, you ain't gonna never hit the slider,
right.
And you're not gonna catch it with the fastball.
Facts.
But you can see punches, stuff that I wouldn't even think about seeing.
For sure.
That joker hit me about 4 or 5 times, hands back by his side like, what happened?
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.